Ok, estamos ao vivo, olá pessoal. Um pouco em cima da hora, mas estamos aí para início da corrida da Arca. Muita loucura prometida para essa corrida, ao menos esperada. Dedos cruzados para que ninguém se machuque. Mas acidente para quem gosta de assistir. Essa corrida aqui deve ter. Eu acho que o meu volume não sei se está muito alto ou muito baixo. Deixa eu baixar um pouquinho do som deles ali. Essa aqui é uma transição feita para mim falar, principalmente se você quiser ver a original, só digitar no Google, aí no YouTube, Arca Daytona, você vai achar. E, bom, agora finalmente consegui entrar online, então é hora de compartilhar isso aqui com todo mundo.
Travis Braden, full-time this year for Fight Racing. He has the General Tire on board, starting 7th.
We're going to ride along on the cooling products on board of Gus Dean. Gus won the race at Talladega a couple years ago. He will start from the 6th spot.
Here's a good look at Gus Dean on board. Leilani Munter starting 5th. Has the veganstrong.com on board. She was strong here last year, and she just announced today she's going to do almost half the season.
That's awesome. We're also going to run along with our pole sitter, Natalie Decker, trying to become the first female ever to win an Arca Racing Series event. She's in the N29 Capital Partners Toyota for Venturini Motorsports.
Well, we had a great rookie race last year for the Scott Rookie Award, and it went down to the last race of the season. Gus Dean led into that final race by 2 points, but he was edged by Riley Herbst, who still won it, despite not racing at Daytona last year. Now this year we've got 4 that are going to have a pretty
stiff battle throughout the season.
Yeah, we mentioned Chase Purdy driving for MD Motorsports. You see he's got 3 starts already in the series with 2 top 10s. There's Natalie with her 2 top 10s. Travis Baden with it. When we talked about him, Brandon Grasso would have been racing here, but he's not old enough. Just like Riley Herbst last year, he will be in the remainder of the races.
16 rookies in the field, and we've got our own rookie here on the broadcast. He's a racer himself in midget racing. Welcome to Dylan Welch.
Well, thank you, Kevin. As you guys have talked about, many rookies in the field today, but many of these rookies have a veteran voice up top in the form of a spotter. 8 current Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series spotters on hand today to help these ARCA drivers navigate their way over the course of this 80-lap race. Notably, the guys that start 2nd and 3rd. Zane Smith, whose pit box we're in right now, rolling off from outside the front row. He's got Derek Nealon, who's Kyle Larson's spotter on the Cup side of things. Chase Purdy, who starts 3rd, has TJ Majors, who has engineered Dale Earnhardt Jr. to multiple Daytona victories. So 2 guys who know how to navigate their drivers around the high banks here at Daytona. Ultimately, the spotters can only do so much. It's in the driver's hands at the end of the day, but it's nice to have a veteran voice and a voice you can trust in your ear to help get yourself around Daytona. To the end of pit road and Jim Trado.
Thanks, Dylan. And we mentioned Dave Liner, the crew chief for Natalie Decker, the pole sitter. He has 5 Daytona victories here. But there's also a very impressive list of crew chiefs, veterans of the NASCAR National Series. Booty Barker's been added to help Riley Herbst in his 2nd season. Kelly Burnclaw comes over from a lot of years in NASCAR. Frank Kimmel, the 10-time ARCA driver, is now on the box for Leilani Munter for this race. There's a lot of veteran leadership from practice, from the test a month ago to today. This veteran leadership is going to help these young drivers here at Daytona throughout these 80 laps.
They are lined up,
E bandeira verde, já está começando.
Race of 2018 is green. Here we go from Daytona. Smith trying to get the edge on the outside.
Opa, link errado.
He's in the black and yellow car on the high side. Decker stays even as they go into turn number 2.
Todo mundo lado a lado. Mudança principal para a Arca desse ano. Todos os carros e motores são iguais. Então vai ter uma corrida muito mais competitiva. Já dá para ver aí. O pessoal continua bastante próximo lado a lado.
Decker on the bottom side and Max Tolman on the high side, making his first ever ARCA start.
Now these guys and girls are getting to feel what it's like to run around so many other vehicles here.
Smith will lead lap 1. They're side by side for 2nd. Tolman scored in 2nd, then Decker, Gus Dean, Chase Purdy, Riley Herbst, Leilani Munter.
Pronto, agora sim.
Line had a little bit of energy right there, so Zane Smith moved up to try to pull that outside line up even with the inside line.
Zane Smith told me yesterday my car is stupid fast. He's one of about 4 or 5
falou que seu carro estava muito rápido ontem. É, o setup cada um faz o seu. Se todos os carros são iguais, um bom setup faz a diferença. Primeiras voltas o pessoal é um pouco mais agressivo, depois à medida que os pneus vão começando a se desgastar, você já não tem mais aquele controle total do carro, tem uma tendência maior em ficar em fila indiana, mas nem sempre é o caso. Ainda mais estamos aí no inverno na Flórida e o sol já está começando a se pôr, a pessoa vai começando a esfriar. Também o desgaste dos pneus é um pouco menor. Ajuda bastante.
Max Tolman running in second, making his Arca debut. He has raced here before on the road course in SCCA racing, and he said that actually does help because you spend a good amount of time on part of the oval.
O gráfico agora é tempo inteiro na lateral.
Gustine's trying to bring that outside line up.
Estão reclamando.
Right now he's even with Natalie Decker. That's the white car with the red stripe, Natalie Decker. Gustine, the blue and white car. There's Gus right there, the Greek Cooling Products car for Wintron Racing.
They made some changes in the offseason, including switching to Chevrolet. They have made a concerted effort backed by Gree to run for the championship.
Ok. Sai aqui, fecha tudo que der. Aí o Júnior abaixa um pouco o som de fundo, nossa, o inglês está muito alta. Ok. Baixar mais. Ok. Tá pegando aqui a transição. Eu vou baixar, tô dropando alguns frames, vou baixar um pouco a taxa. Apesar de que o bitrate não tá tão alto assim. Não sei se o problema é aqui. Vamos ver. Talvez não seja. Talvez não seja esse dos frames. Não estamos mais dropando frame. Não é mais aqui. Não é. Ai, que saco. Não estava travando assim antes. Deixa eu dar uma atualização.
Crosley, his longtime sponsor.
See Tom Hessert nose out there. Looks like Tom.
The stream is on pause. Please don't go. O problema não é aqui, é o streaming do cara lá que tá problemando. Começando a Speed Weeks aqui em Daytona. Tivemos uma mulher aqui na pole da Arca. Vou aproveitar e pegar o meu celular. Onde é que tá aqui? Tá ruim hoje só com o monitor para ver os comentários. Opa, voltou.
Dean Purdy, Herbst, Munter, Hessert, Braden, and Bo Lemastis up to 10th position.
Bo's driving the car. New team, Chad Bryant bought Cunningham Motorsports out. Cunningham Motorsports won the championship 2 years ago with Chase Briscoe. Chad was a crew chief for that effort. The Cunningham people wanted to get out. Gary Shear and Chad bought it. Now he's a car owner here, and this car is doing a nice job with Bo Lemastis behind the wheel.
So you know those are good pieces. Crosley, his longtime sponsor.
Okay.
See Tom Hessert nose out there. Looks like Tom may have elected to go towards the back of the field. He told me that might be a possibility for him, and just to ride a little bit. That was him up on the high side, 3 wide.
Amanhã, 6 da tarde, o Budweiser Shootout. Ou sei lá qual é o nome desse ano. Cada ano eles estão mudando o nome da corrida. Mas é a corrida que abre a Cup Series para uma festiva 100 pontos. É sempre legal de acompanhar. Há bastante fila indiana agora ali na frente, até porque quando começa a fila indiana, os carros que estão em fila indiana têm menos turbulência, por não ter ninguém lado a lado, e são um pouco mais rápidos de quem está lá atrás, lado a lado. Então cria um efeito bola de neve. Até quem está perdendo o vácuo do pelotão principal, muitas vezes, se ficar em fila indiana, que o pessoal faz, eles acabam buscando de novo o pelotão principal, se não demorar demais. Por enquanto ainda temos 20 carros a apenas 1 segundo do líder, mas deu para ver que já se formou um segundo pelotão mais para trás.
Came so close to winning several times last year. He is on that short list of championship contenders, running the full season this year for the first time.
And right now, Gus Dean needs to get down the bottom. He has some help up the top. They don't seem to be able to make much ground.
Eu mesmo, no meu painel de transmissão, estava revendo toda a transmissão a 720p. Acho que isso que estava travando muito ali. Tivemos uma pequena queda de qualidade, mas já deve estabilizar.
This Toyota, however, the brand spanking new piece out of David Gilliland's shop has been fast. A lot of teams have taken note. Members of other teams have said, I want to be where the 54 is. Grexy was so fast here last year in Speed Weeks at Daytona for the Arca Racing Series. In the Venturini Motorsports camp, he has confidence. He has a car. He told me he can put just about anywhere. But right now he's thinking maybe going to the back with Tom Hess, the veteran, might be a better plan here at this point in the race.
Noah Gragson is one of the veterans, and he's 19 years old. All the young drivers making their Daytona debut, no issues in the early going, and Zane Smith leads them. Early going.
Por enquanto, bastante fila indiana. Bem diferente do que estavam esperando, mas início da corrida, são 80 voltas. Então, até que é bom ter um pouco de paciência agora. Daí costuma, no final, na hora do vamos ver, o acidente ser maior. O maior exemplo disso acho que foi a corrida da NASCAR em Talladega, a segunda prova de Talladega de 2012. Então teve um Big One na corrida inteira, e daí deu um Green White Checker com apenas... foi o Green White Checker, apenas 2 voltas para o final, e daí aquele acidente na última volta. Que só 3 carros chegaram no final e passaram pelo acidente. Os outros, a maioria se envolveu, acho que deve ter tido um ou outro que freou e não pôde passar pela pista, ela ficou bloqueada, mas a maioria ali se envolveu. Cerca de 30 carros envolvidos. Até talvez dá para botar aí aproveitar um desses comerciais, que isso aí não coloca. O VT. A Arca aqui em Daytona, muitos anos foi ganha sempre pelo Bob Gerhardt, que é um dos veteranos. A Arca é uma espécie de Frankenstein que mistura carros, pilotos veteranos que estão a vida inteira correndo lá, o Frank Kimmel, Bob Gerhardt, por exemplo, e ao mesmo tempo outro extremo que são pilotos super jovens que estão lá de passagem para tentar aparecer e ir para Truck Series e para as outras categorias principais da NASCAR. E daí por vários anos o Bob Gerhardt ganhou aqui em Daytona, sempre fazendo aquela estratégia de parar na primeira amarela que tem lá, lá pela volta 20, volta 10 ou por aí, assim, a primeira amarela que tem ele enchia o tanque e depois ficava até o final, ninguém passava ele. Normalmente, se perto do final da corrida o pessoal já está em fila indiana, normalmente o cara que está em segundo e terceiro é um garoto muito jovem, já está super feliz de estar ali, e raramente eles colocam para fora para tentar uma ultrapassagem nas últimas voltas. Então briga pela Arca, se tiver em fila indiana não deve acontecer muita coisa na última volta, então prestar atenção pelas brigas por ultrapassagens um pouco antes na corrida, lá com 20 voltas para o final, com 30 voltas, ali que a briga deve ser a que vai definir quem vai vencer, a princípio. Acho que a gente tem relargado em fila dupla. Com esses carros, com esse motor. Acho que vai ter muita gente ali brigando no pelotão líder. Deve ter sim carros lado a lado. Voltamos aí. No treino, já teve gente que falou que o carro está muito bom nas 3 linhas, tanto por baixo, pelo meio, quanto por fora. Então é capaz até de ter 3 carros lado a lado por algum tempo. E o streaming do cara já está falhando de novo.
What they need to do right now, the bottom is the safe line. Beginning of the races here, you always see people just sort of feeling it out. The composite bodies is definitely something new.
Os americanos já colocam 10 horas de comercial, daí quando não tem corrida não aparece direito.
I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. People are, the drivers are being safe, and I think later on in the race you're going to see the top line come in.
What do you think about Tom Hessert's plan of dropping back?
Well, I think it's it could work out. The problem is these Arca races are so short. You know,
plano do Tom Hessert lá pro fundão, talvez pode funcionar. Só que essas corridas da Arca são tão curtas. A posição na pista é bastante importante numa corrida dessa. Cadê o Hessert? Não tô vendo o nome dele ali. Não, tá ao menos tão lá atrás. Tá ali em 16º. Liderando o segundo pelotão.
Yeah, about 7 seconds back to that next pack that's led by Tom Hessert in the 55 car.
15 cars in that lead pack.
15 carros o primeiro pelotão. É daí do 16º ao 25º. 10 carros do segundo pelotão. Daí vem, dá uns 3 segundos, vem mais um grupo. E mais uns 4 segundos vem outro grupo aí do 31º ao 34º. Já estão a 30 segundos os líderes. Já esses aí vão colocar a volta neles.
There, but we know that talent sometimes is more important, especially when you have veteran spotters up top, basically telling these kids where to run, where not to run, and when to pull out a line. So they're fortunate to have them, put it that way.
How important are spotters here, Austin? I know you did such a great job last year winning that race, but how important is this?
Tentar achar aqui aquilo que eu falei, o acidente da Cup Series de 2012. Já deixar pronto. E agora vamos para o comercial? Vamos mostrar então. Só armar. Aqui, adicionar, screen capture, essa daqui. Diminui assim e aqui. Tá travando ali, não dá para ser tão preciso. Tá. E daí tela cheia. Pronto. Olha aí, o que acontece quando tem todo o pelotão? Isso ainda era o Car of Tomorrow que dava muito vácuo.
with Sam Hornish behind him.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth's sitting duck right here. They could be coming by him on both sides.
Side outside. What's the 15?
Stewart to the lead at the white flag. We're on the last lap. Will they make it back?
Wayne will pass the fast when he's got the 49 pushing him here.
4 deep behind Stewart and Kenseth.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick's got some real help coming towards the front here.
Michael Walker
Que loucura isso daí.
into the picture. Pushed by Casey Mears. Kenseth with Harvick behind him. Oh, there's contact. Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Fortune's out.
Speed Weeks is a new season of NASCAR kicks off. It all begins tomorrow with Daytona 500 qualifying.
Aí só passa 3, ó.
That's the Clash at Daytona.
Tá bom.
FS1 or stream it all live on Fox Sports Go.
Tira aí. Cadê a outra janela?
Cup practice and Clash practice today. We'll get the front row sets tomorrow for the Daytona 500 and a race as well. We've got racing here today in the Arca Racing Series presented by Menards, and more on Riley Herbst downstairs with Jim Trado.
Lennox Center Toyota is out of the draft on purpose because the temperatures are rising, water and oil, to the point where he said, guys, I don't think I like I see it on the gauges. They said, get out of the line. His spotter, Chris Lambert, who does Denny Hamlin's work on Sundays, said, this is the best move, guys. Let's get somewhere clean, somewhere clear, away from the draft to get that engine cooled down with fresh air to the nose of that Toyota.
Se ficar em bandeira verde, acaba antes das 9. Ainda dá para correr lá na NRB sem problema.
So I think it's a good move to try to get some fresh air there and keep that engine cooled off a little bit.
Especially early in the race, you know that we're going to have to come and make pit stops, and the field's going to get back together.
You can see Riley inside the car messing with switches, probably turning the radiator fan on to try to cool that off a little bit. Although at these speeds, the radiator fan doesn't do a whole lot. But
there's only so much you can do as a driver when you have an overheating problem.
Problema de superaquecimento. Aqui em Daytona é complicado o superaquecimento. Se você já está de cara pro vento e o carro ainda está assim, não tem o que fazer. Pois você fica a volta inteira de pé embaixo.
In the 30 car there for International Tool and Mold, getting together just a little bit.
Yeah, the Arca officials do not want you to do any bump drafting in the corners. They allow it on the straightaways.
Oficiais não querem que se empurrem nas curvas.
He's trying to help him to get by that car in front of him. I believe that might have been Brett Holmes.
Foi o que falou aí o narrador.
That's something you don't want to do is feel a little bit of a bump in the center of the corner.
Especially to the left side of the bumper. It can really get you sideways.
Mas não sei se precisa botar regra para os oficiais, né? Empurrar na curva é quase certo que vai bater. E aí tem um carro que estoura o motor e tem acidente capaz de ter sido por causa do óleo que esse carro deixou. Do jeito que ele está fumando. 3 carros batidos e um com motor danificado. Olha como é que ficou esse aí.
He was having such a good run. He moved up about 15 spots. Cody Robaugh in the number 7 Grant County mulch car as well. There's the 99. Osmer we saw first. There's Robaugh.
E a Arca, tradição da Arca, não sei se vai ser o caso desse ano, mas costumam demorar muito para limpar a pista quando tem bandeira amarela. Não é a mesma equipe da NASCAR principal.
I'm not sure whether those cars got in the oil from the 99 or whether they maybe somebody jumped out of the gas to avoid.
Acho que até eles não fazem questão de arrumar tão rápido, pois daí a prova dura menos tempo. Vamos ver se vai ter ali o 7. O 7 é um dos que vai bater. Então foi na frente desse aí. Mas começou com os dois desviando do 99. Deu pra ver no final da imagem ali que os dois já estavam se tocando. O 7 passou por baixo e o 22 passou por cima, o carro que estava lento. E daí os dois quiseram ocupar o mesmo espaço na linha de dentro. Após esse acontecimento. Ali, ó, o verde. Os dois na frente aí que vão se tocar. Ah, não, eles passaram por cima mesmo. Mas aí tentou descer e o 7 já estava lá.
car was beneath him, kept coming down, they made contact.
O 7 até podia estar no direito dele, mas poderia ter soltado o pé e assim ainda ia estar na corrida agora. 7 do Corball.
So here they come down pit road under caution. We start with Dillon. And Max Tolman has been just happy to ride both of his crew chief and his spotter. Tyler Green telling him
só botando combustível. Tá feliz só de estar andando. Não está tentando brigar pela vitória. Deve ser. Olha. Mais gasolina. Tem algum problema aí. O 41 do Zane Smith. Tocou com o Bob Gerhardt. Trabalho do chefe de equipe saber quem está parando por perto. Ver se não tem ninguém por perto, eles não deviam ter soltado o Zane Smith. Gerhardt, que não tem mais tanta sorte assim em Daytona nos últimos anos. Acho que vai continuar a fase de azar para ele. E agora sim parece que o streaming estabilizou. Pelo menos por um bom tempo sem travar. Aí, valeu o pessoal comentando. Aproveitar que a gente perdeu um pouquinho. Clica no ao vivo de novo. Estava uns 40 segundos atrás. Apesar de que era bom esse buffer, já que estava travando. Mas quem estava travando mesmo é o cara lá, não era a gente aqui. Tá, beleza. Devemos ter o comercial mais longo agora, aproveitando a amarela. Corrida mais clássica que já tivemos. Vamos mostrar mais um vídeo agora, então já que aproveitar. Espera aí. A corrida mais clássica que já tivemos da Arca, ao menos para quem gosta de acidente, foi em 2009. Aqui 2009 Arca Crash Compilation. Isso na época que a Daytona não era repavimentada. Então era muito mais difícil para quem estava começando a andar bem. O Clash vai ser amanhã, 6 da tarde. Aí botaram uma música. Não. Sem esse som aí. Ainda vai dar problema de copyright. O cara rodando aqui atrás, tem fumaça lá na frente, tinha outro batendo lá na frente. O pessoal lá já tá voltando, mas olha ali como se envolve. Isso bem aquele clássico da Arca que dá um acidente e ninguém freia, se envolve também no acidente. Às vezes até bem depois do acidente, ainda vai ter gente batendo agora, eu acho. Ó. Ok, depois a gente vê mais isso aí. Eles estavam mostrando que agora tem um novo líder e já vão para novo comercial. Essa é a transição americana, coisa boa. Ao menos assim vão ter menos comercial em bandeira verde. Tá, peraí, volta aqui. Mais acidentes tivemos então na Arca em 2009. Aí um que estourou o pneu. Asfalto muito antigo naquela época. Era uma lixa, além das ondulações. Então, realmente forçava os pneus, exigia bastante. E mais um acidente começou com o carro rodando sozinho. E o pessoal não freia, não sabe desviar. E vários se envolvem. Realmente vários se envolvem que não freiam. Continua tendo gente aí. Ó, vem mais. Aí, daí que é da Arca que vem... Aliás, por essas e outras que tem o termo Arca Brakes, que é o freio da Arca. Cada vez que a pessoa não tenta frear para o acidente, tenta passar vivo. Os americanos falam Arca Brakes, lá no fórum que eu participo. O TVK Lite. Mais um Big One. E se já não estava tendo acidente demais, o último pode não ter sido o Big One em número de carros, mas foi com certeza a pancada mais violenta. Com 6 voltas para o final. Esse aí não é o último, é mais um acidente. Ou é... Ah não, é replay daquele ainda, um board. Com o carro verde limão, ele estava ali no meio mesmo. E acho que já vai ter. Já tá acabando o vídeo aqui. Sim, só tem mais meio minuto. Aí o outro que rodou sozinho. Coisa rara nessa prova, um carro batendo sozinho. E agora sim, a batida com o Patrick Sheltra, que vai lá para cima, e daí vem um outro carro a toda agora, quase que acerta bem no piloto. Por sorte, na última hora ele viu que tinha um piloto ali. Eu não sei se viu ou não, mas conseguiu, por sorte, acertou mais atrás. Ainda assim, teve alguns ossos quebrados no Patrick Sheltra, mas sobreviveu. E daí a prova acabou. Isso aqui é só a imagem de um dos Big Ones. A prova acabou ali porque depois ia ter o Busch Clash, o famoso Busch Clash. Tá bom, opa. Essa... Tá bom, chega de imagem aqui, cadê? Pra trocar de cena.
Came down pit road, had a bit of an issue there. You have any damage from that contact with Bobby Gerhardt?
Revisa com o Zane Smith que tocou no Bobby Gerhardt saindo do pit.
How does that car handle? This is the first time that we really had these cars out in some really big packs. The car looks like it's driving pretty good.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting you there. What'd you say?
Said it looks. This is the first time that we've had cars in such a big pack, but it looks like your car's driving really well.
Yeah, pretty happy with it. The guys back at MDM have worked really hard on it, so man, hopefully we can make it on the field. We keep shutting it off here, trying to save, and I don't know. If we make it, we have a good shot out of here.
Desligando o motor bastante aí, tentando economizar gasolina. É bem perto do limite. Por isso que a gente viu a Natalie ali enchendo o tanque até a última gota. Muitos carros não vão, principalmente quem estiver ali na frente, não deve parar mais. O Júnior perguntando o que é o Clash que vai ter amanhã. É a prova da Cup Series. Todo ano, desde 89, mais ou menos, ou 81, não sei. Já vou pesquisar e dizer desde quando acontece, mas é uma prova festiva da NASCAR. Por muito tempo era sempre todos os pilotos que tinham feito a pole position no ano passado que participavam. Agora tem mais quem fez a pole em Daytona nos últimos 5 anos. É uma regra que eles botaram só para poder botar a Danica Patrick na corrida. E também qualquer um que participou no Chase no ano anterior. On 8 different tracks and double points races like this that are sponsored by General Tire.
Why don't we talk to the guy that won that challenge last year?
Can we find him?
Well, we might be able to find him.
Let's go find him. Yeah, fortunately for us,
amanhã vai se chamar Advanced Auto Parts Clash.
Those races, I mean, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte, excited to watch that race coming up. A bunch of different unique racetracks, and I mean that it's going to test the guys. I mean, they have to be good at all these different.
Primeira corrida do Clash foi em 80 não, desculpa. Eu falei 81, né? A primeira corrida do Clash foi em 79. Acho que 81 foi o All Star. Daí é que é por isso que estou confundindo a data. Já descobri. All Star.
I'm excited. Obviously we won the championship last year, and my goal from the start's always to go back and try to race in NASCAR again. 2015, put a hamper on that, but
não, 85. Então não sei porque estou com a data de 81 na cabeça. Para ver que foi uma das primeiras grandes corridas. Tem alguma imagem famosa da corrida de 81.
Try to put something together for later on in the year. You had some great runs in Brad Keselowski's truck 2 or 3 years ago, especially here at this race. Had a top 5 finish here.
Absolutely, I always love Daytona. It's a fun track and
longa amarela, como falei, acho que foi na volta 20, saiu amarela, a gente já está na volta 30.
Well, the discussion between Shannon Rush's crew chief from last year and new crew chief Booty Barker, they said, you know what, let's bring it in one more time, top it off with fuel. Their discussion prior to this second pit stop under caution was they might have been about a dozen laps short on fuel. Now at this extended caution, they are close to their window. They thought, let's give up that track position. Riley, come on back in, top it off with fuel. They might not see pit road again today.
I think that makes sense for anybody that was near the back of the line.
Yeah, Leilani Munter also came in too and topped off. So they should be good to go. There's Leilani right there in the BeaconStrong.com Toyota. She did a nice job early in that race. Just got down in line, ran up in the top 5 till that caution flag came out.
She was running in the top 5 that entire first stint. Has a little bit of work to do to make her way back up there to the front. We're going to go green.
Lado a lado, vão para a relargada. Agora sim. Primeira relargada já começou a ser bem mais intensa do que a largada em si. Afinal, todos os pilotos agora já pegaram um bom treino, já estão mais acostumados com o carro, e agora ainda eles sabem que não vão parar mais, provavelmente não vão parar mais, então a posição na pista vale muito mais.
Let's watch to see if the guys that were lagging back are going to turn up the heat here.
Pace car is off.
Pace car já entrou. Relargada, já está acelerando. Creed e Toleman. Creed por fora, quer dizer, por dentro está indo muito bem. 2 carros brancos por dentro e 2 pretos por fora.
Let's see if Natalie can pull up there and help that outside line.
Conseguiu um empurrão muito grande ali. O Creed. Agora o Toleman na reta oposta entrou bem mais embalado. 28 ali do Creed, tem que cuidar o efeito ioiô. 15 do Self chegando também.
That's on board with Braden. There's Noah Gregson in the 54 switch car.
Aí a Natalie Decker, no momento em 6º lugar, 3º carro por fora. Tem gente dizendo que ela é a nova Danica Patrick, vamos ver. É importante para ela. Ou vai ou racha. Linha de fora costuma ser mais forte depois de algumas voltas, pois os carros conseguem ficar mais próximos. Isso era o caso, ao menos na maioria das vezes. Não foi o que a gente viu naquela imagem, que a linha de dentro estava muito mais compacta.
On board with Natalie Decker on the top side right now in 7th position.
You hear her playing with the throttle a little bit. It's not just a simple matter of holding.
Deu para ouvir ali a Natalie Decker soltando o pé do acelerador um pouquinho. Esses carros aí não tem muito downforce. Uma asa bem pequena até atrás. Ou ela está soltando exatamente que já está muito próximo do carro da frente. Então não dá para bumpar, não dá para empurrar. Esse carro da frente já está balançando bastante assim, não precisa chegar mais perto.
It comes from years of experience, and you just saw in the trial over here, contact. It's a fine line.
Mudança na liderança. Thoman, que vinha por fora, consegue botar à frente do grid, passar à frente do grid, desceu, mas decidiu subir, agora volta a descer, deixando o Huff sozinho ali para liderar a linha de fora, com a Natalie Decker vindo logo atrás. Então agora o único carro em fila indiana, pode até escolher qual linha bloquear.
Max Tolman in his Arca debut remains out front.
Começa a puxar o Creed e agora é tendência os dois começarem a abrir e puxar mais gente. Vamos ver. Não é o caso. A linha de fora veio forte e o Creed tentou colocar por fora. Quase tivemos um acidente ali saindo da curva 2. E a Natalie balançando. Um carro traseiro na entrada da curva 3. O problema é que a Natalie não está alinhando tão bem com o... Quem é que está liderando a linha de fora ali? Acho que é o Huff. Não está alinhando tão bem com ele. E com isso também não empurra ele tão bem para frente. Não precisa estar encostando, só estar ali. A ajuda aerodinâmica já faz diferença. Balançou bastante ali a Natalie.
So Natalie Decker, the pole sitter, runs in 6th. Everyone chasing Max Tolman right now. The season opener for the Arca Racing Series, presented by Menards from Daytona.
Uma pena, mas agora vamos para o comercial. Essas horas que eu gosto de ter a Fox brasileira ligada, que lá não é tanto assim. Eles valorizam muito mais, principalmente a parte final da corrida. É raro ter comercial em bandeira verde. Dedos cruzados. Normalmente quando o pessoal tá assim lado a lado e vai pro comercial, volta tá no umbigo. Vamos torcer para que isso não aconteça dessa vez. Dessa vez eu não vou olhar nenhum outro vídeo para fora, só esperando aqui a narração voltar, o sinal voltar o quanto antes. Recomeço de prova muito melhor que o stint inicial. Ali acho que depois de 2 voltas já estavam formando uma fila indiana bem grande, não deu nada mais de corrida. Bem diferente de agora. Bem diferente. Realmente não entendo essa cultura norte-americana de botar comercial no meio da corrida. Isso não poderia ser feito. Mas a gente até que está bem aqui no Brasil, que uma vez estava na Argentina, fui ver a corrida lá, e eles põem propaganda no meio da corrida de Fórmula 1 também. Pior que era corrida de Monza. A prova já tem 1h15 só, ainda encheram de comercial, não deu para ver nada. Amanhã a NASCAR vai ter o Qualify, começando ao meio-dia local deles. Para nós é às 3 da tarde. E logo depois, 3 horas depois, para a gente às 6 da tarde, daí sim a corrida do Clash. E o carro que corre no Clash não é o mesmo que larga em Daytona. Umas 500 milhas. Aí, estamos de volta. Já não tá mais aquela fila lado a lado na frente, ao menos tá todo mundo inteiro. Quase. Quase o Big One. Teve um susto aí, ó. 3 carros lado a lado.
Making his 100th career start. He's also going to start the Daytona 500.
I don't think I've ever seen so much contact without a wreck.
Yeah, and these cars are pretty durable, aren't they? Remember, these are
falaram, nunca vi tanto, acho que eu nunca vi tanto contato sem um acidente. Sinal que deu muita coisa durante o comercial aí, pela que eles foram aquela hora. Tava boa a briga mesmo. Ó, 25 subindo na frente do outro ali. Perdão que estou falando mais do número, pois a Arca muda muito de um ano para outro. É difícil saber quem é quem. 25 é o Decker.
Gus is doing a great job with that damaged car. Aerodynamics are so important here, and here he is hanging with the lead pack with that damaged car.
And he's won a super speedway race. He won at Talladega with Mason Mitchell Motorsports a couple of years ago.
There's Leilani as we ride along with her. You mentioned that she was in the top 5 here late in the race last year. About 15 laps to go and got taken out in an incident not of her making that kept her from having a great finish.
There's still a lot of players in this race.
And a lot of time left. We're just halfway.
There's the look up front again with Tolman, Creed, Self, Braden in 4th. Noah Gregson has worked his way up to 5th. There's Zane Smith, who dominated early in the black and yellow 41 in 6th. Sean Corr in 7th. Quinn Half is up in the top 3 or 4 for a while. He's back in 8th, and we've got a smoke.
Mais carro com motor estourado. Bem na metade da prova.
Looks like an engine. Looks like an awful lot of smoke there.
Yeah, it's a lot of smoke.
Interessante que são carros todos com... É para ser o mesmo motor para todos os carros. Mas tem que ver, né, o setup. Você pode colocar uma fita tape a mais ali no radiador, tapar o máximo que der para ganhar uma velocidade. Tem que cuidar para não tapar demais. Tô falando talvez trocar pneu só por precaução, se você tiver lá atrás, né? Encher um pouco de gasolina, aproveitar. Agora quem está lá na frente fica na pista, economizando pneu e combustível. Principalmente combustível, pelo jeito o pneu não gasta tanto assim.
We'll see if we have any takers here for our second caution of the day.
Pit road will be open this time. The green light is out.
Segunda amarela do dia.
Certainly don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to speed up pit road. If you come down pit road, you don't want to give up whatever track position you might have by coming off pit road after making a mistake.
O Júnior falando ali, a gente sofrendo de abstinência, a corrida da Arca ajuda, é verdade. A corrida da Arca não é só para matar a abstinência, não. É sempre, para mim, uma das corridas mais esperadas de todas as que tem aqui na Daytona Speedway. Apesar de que nos últimos anos não acontece tanta coisa assim.
Down below the yellow line, looks like he may be headed to pit road.
The leader faked it. No, he's coming. There's the lead. Tolman coming down. Michael Self also comes with him. So Creed and Braden and Gregson all stay out. Let's go to Dylan.
And Max Tolman, a little bit of miscommunication. He jumped over his pit box again. They backed him back up, putting fuel in. They wanted him to stay out, but I don't think he was able to miss the commitment cone. He stalled it a little bit on exit. They're still trying to get the Max Tolman car rolling. Jim Trado.
They told the driver, don't slide the tires on the 15, so Self eased on into his pit box and overshot it. Fuel only is the call, but valuable time lost here with his Venturini Motorsports team. Crew Chief Kevin Reed went to victory lane in 2013. This is a fast race car. He's trying to go back with driver Michael Self, but that may set them back a few spots as a lot of cars taking fuel only here on pit road.
Yeah, no doubt. Michael Self lost some track position here. Let's watch again.
And Michael Self is one of the more experienced drivers
Perdendo
in the field.
posições aí, Michael Self.
K&N series, you see him lock up the
Ah,
tires.
quase atropelou ali o
inside pit wall. He's a full pit in front of his pit here as he backs up into his pit. Max Tolman, the 78,
e agora quase deu ré demais. Tá nervoso, tá com pressa. Ele sabe que posição aqui é muito importante. Tolman decide parar. Quem vem em segundo, Sheldon Cranks. Fica na pista. Vamos ver que posição o 78 vai voltar. Bom, e eu vou abrir aqui meu jogo do NASCAR. Não sei se eu vou correr ou não. Talvez eu deixe ele a janela menor. Eu acho que eu vou fazer isso. Dá para correr e ficar um olho na corrida, outro na prova. Só diminuir a tela aqui. Ao menos por enquanto. Vamos testar. O que esse menos 38 fica aparecendo? Aí, pronto, agora sim. Tem um glitch ali. Ok, botar o IP aqui. Estão em Montreal. Se corrida em Gilles Villeneuve? É isso aí mesmo?
The Arca Racing Series opener, and it's time for our Protect Plus mid-race recap. Off the start, Natalie Decker in the white 25. On the pole, Zane Smith, the black and yellow 41, grabbed the lead and dominated the early portion of this race.
Yeah, led the first 24 laps till a caution came out, and it came out because of the 99.
Baixar o volume da NASCAR.
Blows an engine and then causes an incident as those guys try to get around him. You see the 02 Andy Sykes, Cody Roobal with the 7, Will Rogers in the 52, and there's Gus Dean with the 32, but he's made repairs and remained on the lead lap.
Rogers, though, has not been able to get back out there. Same for Cody Roobal. Riley Hurst has had some overheating problems, we understand, and then some contact on pit road for the driver who had dominated the race.
He made a little bit of contact with Bobby Gerhardt. It cost him some positions, but he never came back down pit road on that caution, so no damage to that car.
And Zane Smith is right back in it. He'll restart in 4th position. Sheldon Creed is the leader. He led the last restart, and he's stayed up front. Travis Braden, 2nd, then Noah Gregson, Zane Smith, and Sean Corr, and the pole sitter is on pit road again. Jim?
Yeah, they did not get enough fuel in on that stop. I saw the calculation going on with the crew chief, and just like Riley Herbst pounded his steering wheel a moment ago on Fox Sports 1, crew chief Dave Liner did the same to his clipboard, and he said, we got to bring her back in to top it off.
Yeah, better be safe than sorry. Better make sure she's got enough fuel to get to the end. I'll leave it up to her to try to get towards the front of the pack here, but you don't want to leave her out there and let her run out of gas for sure.
Let's check in with Jim again.
Yeah, it is a tire change for the 15, the Sinclair Toyota Michael Self. That car, as he slid in, he said, I had a soft pedal, guys, sorry. They noticed that he slid the tires. They said, we need to come back in and get 4 fresh General tires on. So he's got 4 tires on, and I just ran down the 18 car, Riley Herbst. He's made 2 pit stops in a prior pit stop cycle. He also took 4 tires on his first stop, topped it off the fuel. So this young man has 4 tires. I believe the only other car in my end of pit road that's changed tires is the 18 of Riley Herbst. Dylan?
Well, for Max Tolman, who came in as the leader, he slid through his box. There was a little bit of miscommunication at the start there of whether they wanted to come in or not. Crew Chief Doug Richard and Tyler Green were talking, and Max was down there below the commitment line, and by the time they decided to stay out, it was too late, so he had to come down, and then he almost missed his box, slid past it just a little bit. They had to back him up. Then they just put fuel in it, and as he pulled away, it started to stall and chug kind of away from the pit box. So a little bit of a cluster there for Max, but his crew's doing a good job, Doug and spotter Tyler Green, pumping him up, telling him they've got a good car. They're just going to have to drive through everybody now.
So we've got some fast cars coming from the middle and even further
então,
back.
vários carros pararam aí para reabastecer e que estavam antes lá na frente vão ter que escalar o pelotão. Essa relargada promete. Se não der Bigon, ao menos vai ter uma corrida muito boa.
Mark Thompson in the top 10 right now. Mark Thompson's a former Arca winner.
This is his 100th Arca start.
Aliás, quando eu falo que promete é isso.
A lot of success at Daytona and Talladega for Mark Thompson over the years.
Eita, ia acertar aqui em Montreal.
In the N29 Capital Partners camera.
She has her work cut out for her now. Yep. Be restarting about the 29th spot.
If Riley Herbst's car is right, can he get back to front from 14?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, got some good cars around him too. Tom Hessett's going to line up right behind him.
Austin Terrio is with us in the booth. There's a look at Gus Dean. How does that damage on that left front affect the handling of that car?
Quite a bit. Fortunately, we're at Daytona, so what he has to do is just follow behind the cars in front of him. They'll, bust a huge hole, and he can realistically take home a top 10, top 15 if he stays out of trouble.
That's the Gree on board, side by side with Leilani Munzer, and then on board with the VeganStrong.com camera.
Leilani's running just outside the top 10 right now in the 11th spot. Again, doing a nice job here.
She was selling me on the Impossible Burger today. I'm going to give that a try. It's going to be available here all throughout Speed Weeks. Here's the General Tire on board with Travis Braden, who's going to restart in second position. And we're about to do that. 35
Vamos para a relargada.
Daytona. The first stock car race of the season. The long winter is over.
Agora sim, 35 voltas para o final. Vamos ver quantas voltas a gente vai ficar em bandeira verde.
On the top side, back up through the gears and back to green at Daytona with Noah Gragson giving a good push on the bottom.
Só do jeito que eu falei, não é que eu quero ver acidente, eu gosto de ver boa disputa. Acidente também é legal, mas não é só por isso. Olha como os dois primeiros dispararam. Se cuidar o efeito ioiô, é isso aí, cuidado agora. Não, vai demorar um pouquinho ainda. Ajuda o fato de serem dois carros, não só um que disparou lá na frente. Ajuda bastante. E o pessoal que está atrás, lado a lado. Olha lá, quase acidente ali, na linha de dentro. Soltou o pé. O Purdy no 8. E a batida? Lá atrás. Não durou tanto tempo e não foi o acidente que eu estava esperando. Achei que se desse batida ia ser briga lá na frente. Ou com o pessoal que reabasteceu e estava voltando lá, escalando o pelotão. Não, mas foi mais de um carro.
Second generation Arca racer Andrew Belmont. His dad Andy had so much success here in the series years ago. First start here at Daytona for Andrew with some damage.
And there's Pompa driving the 22 car.
Vários carros batidos.
There's Andrew. Belmont driving away. Doesn't appear to be a great deal of damage to that mod space car.
E mais uma amarela super longa, né? Já deve relargar com 20 para o final, 23. Não vai ter mais muitas voltas de bandeira verde se continuar desse jeito.
Creed and Gregson worked so well together to get out that big lead, but now remember they're going to be split up because when they have this restart, they're going to start side by side.
So who leads may be determined by Travis Braden and Zane Smith.
Yeah, and if I'm Creed, I know Zane Smith is my teammate, so I'm going to restart this race from the outside because I know I have my teammate Zane Smith in the 41 pushing me.
And there's the 33 go around. Daniel Sasnet making his first Arca start. He's a former Richard Petty driving experience instructor. He's getting an opportunity here in the second car for Wintron Racing.
As a teammate to Gus Dean. See a lot of damage to the front of that car. Ed Pompa crawls out of the 22. One of Andy Hillenberg's entries.
You know, the trial was not that wide at Daytona, so it seems like every year we see large wrecks, and most times it's just guys run out of space.
Yeah, there's Daniel Sasnick getting out of his car. That's a good sign right there.
We never saw a great look at it, but it looked like a pretty heavy impact. So good to see that Daniel Sasnick is out. And let's go back and try to find out what happened.
Looks like they just get seized up. Looks like the 63 of Dave Mater III gets into the back of the 33 and turns him around. That's what's going to send him to the outside wall. They just kind of got bottled up a little bit on the inside, it looked like. And the farther back you go, the less time you have to react.
On board with Natalie Decker.
Olha, wow! Wow!
Amazing. What a great job she did. You could hear her get out of the throttle. She had hardly any time to react.
That's impressive.
It certainly was. Pretty hard contact with the outside safer barrier for
Bom trabalho na Natalie Decker. Tá certo, tem muita gente que fala que isso aí é só sorte.
Things that happens when you fall further back in the field. Running in the 20, she's 22nd right now.
Yeah, these guys were trying to avoid her as they got.
Tem gente que fala que isso é só sorte, mas não, você tem que fazer o seu trabalho também. Mas não estragou.
Andrew Belmont.
Let's check in with Dylan. The 41 is on pit road. Yeah, they had a right rear tire going down, so they opted to come in and change all four and add fuel. The car's still driving okay for Zane. He's doing a nice job just riding right now and holding on to what was the fourth spot, but 4 tires and fuel down and away. Well, he's worked his way back up a couple of times. Remember late last year, either Kentucky or Kansas, he was up front, fell to the back, got all the way back up to the front. So don't count out Zane Smith yet. Caution. Daniel Sasnick goes spinning, others involved as well. Another restart is coming up from Daytona.
Ainda mais uma relargada. Vai demorar. Acho que essa relargada vai demorar. Se as outras já demoraram. Se bem que aquelas ali foram também por... O cara estourou o motor e ficou andando por um bom tempo na pista. Então tem que tirar o óleo de uma parte longa. Enquanto isso, andando aqui de NASCAR em Montreal. Oh, beleza. Circuito misto sem amarelo, negócio... Aliás, vamos ver se vai ter amarela. Pedro Wilson passou na zero dos muros campeões, foi lá na arquibancada. É, tem umas zebras aqui que estão bem traiçoeiras.
Under caution number 3 for the Arca opener at Daytona with Phil Parsons, Austin Terrio, Dylan Welch, Jim Trado. I'm Kevin Lee. Sheldon Creed is the leader. Noah Gregson will restart in second position. Let's find out more about the 28 though with Jim.
There's a lot going on since the accident right in front of their pit box here, guys, on pit road. I'm with crew chief Jeff Stankiewicz, 2 years removed from winning the Arca championship with Grant Enfinger. He is now in discussion. His first initial thought was there's too much debris on the front stretch. We're the race leader. Can we get the field to come down pit road while they clean the front stretch? The answer was no. So the debris on the front stretch was the first obstacle. Let's now find out the second obstacle. Is Jeff Stankiewicz also only had 1 pit stop thus far for fuel on lap 23. So the debris was one thing you had to overcome. Now how about that fuel mileage? What are you telling your young driver? If he does not come back in, that's a long way to go on a tank of gas.
Yeah, he's been saving fuel really well here. We've had a lot of caution laps here. This wreck is really going to put us in a good position. He's been shutting the motor off, saving as much as he can. A little concerned about the debris we just drove through. I wish they had brought us down pit road, but the more we keep riding around, there's stuff everywhere. I have a feeling we're going to have a couple more cautions maybe. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, just maybe not as confident about a green-white checkered if we get in that point, but we're committed.
You're the first car to get to that debris. Any worries about tires from here forward?
Yeah, it's a little bit. There's always a worry. Our teammate sounds like he had a tire going down running through it, but he doesn't feel anything, so I'm taking his word, and we're going for it. It is what it is at this point.
That's Jeff Stankiewicz, again, the crew chief for Sheldon Creed, the 28-year-old making his debut. So you've got Stankiewicz, an Arca champ, as a crew chief. You've got Lauren Ranier, who's been spotting for teams for 30 years, dating back to Davey Allison here in the mid-'80s for the Arca and NASCAR teams for his dad, Harry Ranier. So there's a lot of experience helping this young Sheldon Creed figure it out. They're trying to go on 1 fuel stop back on lap 23 to the end.
Sheldon Creed is known by many as the showstopper. He's won in all kinds of different cars, trying to get his first win at just 20 years old in the Arca Racing Series. And look at what young Natalie Decker had to squeeze through to stay in contention. Stay with us.
Mais comercial, mais amarela. Lembra, os americanos estão acostumados com bastante pausa e comercial, que o futebol americano é desse jeito, né? Daí a corrida até não deixa de ser meio parecido ao ritmo que está sendo agora. Vamos entrar em Montreal de NASCAR é complicado. Muitos pontos de frenagem bem antes das marcas
We're done tonight in Daytona. It's UFC 221 prelims on FS1 as Damian Beatdown Brown steps into the octagon to face Dong Young Kim plus Rob Wilkinson welcomes Israel Adesanya in his UFC debut. UFC 221 prelims coming up next on FS1 or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Getting closer to restarting here in Arca from Daytona, with still much to be determined and still probably a dozen plus fast cars in contention, led by Sheldon Creed and Noah Gregson restarting on the front row.
I really have my eye on this 54 of Noah Gregson. This is David Gillen Racing. It's actually a team co-owned by David Gillen and Bo Lamastis, and Bo is driving for somebody else, driving for Chad Bryan here, but they formed this team. They're also going to run the truck series. Bo's going to drive the truck next week, but they're going to have to compete against this young man right here, the 54 of Noah Gregson. He is really poised to go for that championship. He's going to be paired with Rudy Fugle, who has so much success in the truck series. He's been a part of either the owner and or driver championship for the last 5 years. Rudy's one of the best minds on pit road, and they're going to be paired together with Kyle Busch Motorsports.
And next week we'll have a feature on that coming up, so stay with us for that.
Taking it year by year, trying to win as many races as I can in the 2018 season. I don't have a 5-year plan, as some people call it, but the wins are going to come. Hopefully the championship comes, and then hopefully I can move up into the higher series like the Xfinity series, and then it's kind of a restart process, and then ultimately hopefully we can make it up to the top.
We've gotten it started here at Daytona this weekend, and we really get going leading up to the Daytona 500 next weekend. Phil will be part of the broadcast for the Camping World Truck Series. Practice starting on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll have 3 practices on Thursday, and then qualifying, race day, and the 250-miler here. Noah Gregson, you saw him standing in front of a grandfather clock. That means he won the race at Martinsville, and he won that grandfather clock.
And he's trying to get his first ARCA win here. Let's find out more what's happening from Jim.
Well, the drivers told me before the race this is the happiest he's been at a racetrack. This team, built by David Gillen Racing 4 years ago to go late model racing, has brought on Crosley, the company, to help them with this development team. Gregson jumped in this car. He said, the first time I sat in it, I knew it was the best opportunity I had to win. His teammate right now on the racetrack is the number 28 of Sheldon Creed. Those crew chiefs have conferred. The crew chief on the 28, Jeff Stankiewicz, came down a moment ago and talked to the crew chief on the 54, Chris Lawson, who's been here for every day that David Gillen Racing has been in existence. They put this car together. The strategy now is the 28 is going to restart the race on the outside. The 54 of Noah Gregson is going to let him in. And Lauren Rear, the spotter on the 28, convinced.
Então o 28 do Creed vai largar por fora e o Gregson está por dentro, vai deixar ele descer para a linha de baixo na relargada. Não se isso for de acordo com o plano.
We're going to hopefully connect and check out on the rest of the field. So we'll see how that plays out. But Gregson, again, one of the contenders throughout the race. The 28 team and their veteran spotter, Lauren Rear, noticing that is their best chance, and they've conferred now. So the 28 may get the lead back, but he'll have to start on the outside according to the plan just made here on pit road.
Real quick, how do our drivers feel about letting somebody in? You okay with that?
I've done it before here.
Okay.
But you have to make sure that they follow through, because it's one thing to plan, it's another thing to execute.
So we'll see how that plays out when we get going here in just a moment. Cleanup is just about done. We'll start racing again from Daytona.
Já vamos relargar, pelo jeito. Já. Não deve demorar muito mais, amarela. É isso que ele quer dizer. Já estão em 26 voltas para o final. Passando muito rápido.
Caution number 3 from Daytona in Arca is about to come to a close. In the last caution, Ed Pompa and Daniel Sasnett were among those involved. They have been checked, cleared, and released from the infield care center. We'll go green this time around.
Vamos relargar agora.
Tonight, as daytime moves to dusk at Daytona
Terminando aqui a minha volta de quali. Montreal. Esse cara entrando. 24 voltas para o final na relargada. Torcer para ter mais voltas bandeira verde dessa vez. E a manobra ali, o líder descendo. É, que nem estava combinado.
He'll grab the lead as they go through the speedy dry. Watch that top side and see what kind of push Chase Purdy has there in the red car for Sean Corr in the 43.
Remember, a lot of experience Sean Corr has here at this racetrack.
45,66.
Chase Purdy doing a nice job.
6 segundos atrás do pole. Tá bom, fizemos uma volta. Vamos narrar a corrida agora.
But Purdy looks to have the quickest car right now. He's trying to go around the high side. Creed will give Corr a push. Gregson is still right there.
Creed empurrando Corr. Primeiras voltas que tem uma disputa maior para a liderança depois de muito tempo. Tantas amarelas.
Purdy tried to pass on the outside and that would have worked out if he would have stayed single file.
E fumaça ali, mas acho que é do cimento seco do acidente. Ó. Teve um big one ali no Trioval. Apenas 32 carros ainda na corrida dentro da pista. Ou ainda 32. No pelotão líder temos vários aí, quase 20.
Brett Holmes doing a nice job racing his way up in here, just knocking out the door of the top 5 in that 23 blue and white car.
He was one of our rookie contenders, 3rd in this Scott Rookie Challenge, and there's damage. That was last year for Natalie Decker. Big time damage on the left front.
Grande dano para Natalie Decker, a pole-sitter. Uau.
What happened to Natalie Decker, the pole sitter?
Tocou com alguém ou simplesmente se desmontou? Ah, na relargada. Uma pena.
Two big-time contenders. Tolman was restarting 20th, Decker in 21st.
Olha, Kryptonic falando ali. Thank you, graças. My cousin's racing now I can watch. Oh. Primo dele correndo. Assistindo aqui no streaming. Opa! É, seguimos em bandeira verde, mas não sei se vai por muito tempo.
Natalie Decker have to her car? We've seen Gus Dean with some damage. He's still running in the top 10. Austin, what do you think? How is Decker going to be impacted by this?
Well, I think she has to make sure that the tires look like they're clear.
É. O maior perigo agora é se tiver algum pedaço do carro encostando no pneu. Parece que não.
And if that fender flies off and stays anywhere on the racetrack, that will bring out a caution flag. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Arca officials take a look at that and not take that chance and bring her to pit road.
So she's lost the draft right now, running in 20th position. Meanwhile, up front, it's still Sean Corr in the 43 car for Empire Racing, 33 years old, from Goshen, New York. 20-year-old Sheldon Creed is second. 19-year-old Noah Gregson is running in 3rd position. You saw on the bottom line, Will Rogers, who was involved in heavy contact, back out many, many laps down, but getting a few more laps of experience here.
Two distinct lines here. You see that outside line trying to get a little bit of energy going here. You see him pull over and side draft. You see the aid of Chase Purdy side drafting on the 27 of Travis Braden.
Purdy in the 8 car in front of the top line, with Holmes pushing him.
And Haupt, the 98 behind Holmes.
He's been fast.
Then John Ferrier, the 46, another car on the Empire Motorsports. And how about Moose Prater, the 9 car? Thomas Prater having a great run here, right up in the top 15.
And he's been in the top 10 at times today. Running in 12th right there. We saw Riley Herbst still in contention. There's Prater in the number 9 DK lot car.
There's a Crosley car, Bola Mastis running the 77 right behind Riley Herbst. Those guys just outside the top 10.
A corrida se estabilizou pouco, mas ainda estamos aí lado a lado.
We see the 32 Gree car of Gustine, who took damage earlier. Tell us what you know, Dylan.
You can see the hood is flapping pretty badly, or starting to, on that 32 car. Gus said that the car is still driving fine. He obviously has to be in the draft, doesn't want to lose the draft in general, but especially with that damage, he's really got to be tucked up under the back of the car that's in front of him. So that's been really the only issue so far, is just making sure that they stay in the draft, but the car itself is still driving straight. So no problems, at least preliminarily, for Gustine. Let's go to Jim.
Natalie Decker, the other car on the racetrack, missing most of her left front fender on her Venturini Motorsports Toyota. Had reported she smelled some fiberglass, but that smell has gone away. They're worried about that car and the fender. When she smelled the fiberglass, it did have a fender rub on the top of the tire.
Sentiu o cheiro de fibra de vidro, provavelmente estava raspando no pneu, mas agora já não está mais.
Very specific, saying this is where the damage may be from. Now the wheel is clear. Let's keep her on the racetrack.
Livrou a roda, então vai continuar na pista. Torcer para uma amarela para poder reparar direito, colocar uma fita tape.
She's running the full season,
17 voltas por final.
Also one of the 4 Scott Rookie Challenge contenders running the entire season, so she'll want to get what she can out of this one.
I think it's a good call to keep her on the racetrack. She's in the
primeiro ano que eu corri de NASCAR virtual, uma das coisas que eu mais assustava era exatamente nessas relargadas. Parecia que você já estava deixando uma margem pro carro da frente e de repente todo mundo freava e se batia do mesmo jeito. E segura aí. Com isso vai espalhar o pelotão. Por um tempo, ao menos. Já já eles devem voltar. Talvez não. E acidente. Pelo menos 3 envolvidos. Pode ter mais gente. A pista agora está bloqueada e o pessoal não costuma não frear. Então já desceram. A amarela com 16 para o final, vamos relargar então com umas 7, 6 voltas para o final. Se ele tirar o fôlego. Bora para ir no banheiro. Primeiro ver os replays depois no banheiro.
And I might have said Core, but that was John Ferrier, his teammate, that was involved there. Core is still the leader, and he's fine. So that's Ferrier that was involved in the 46 for Empire Racing. That's Doza there in the OB Builders Chevrolet. There's the 46. That's Ferrier.
Been so impressed with the resilience of these 5-star bodies, these composite bodies.
They can only take so much.
Yeah, they've been some hard hits here. You see the damage to Chad Bryant's number 77, driven by Bola Mastis. See the right side damage.
Tough ending for them.
Yeah.
He finished 6th here a couple of years ago at Daytona. Let's go back and see how this started. We'd earlier seen a big wiggle for Gus Dean.
There's going to be contact. Gus is going to make contact with the 8 right there. They make contact, and that slows the entire field up now.
Quase o
acidente. See, now that puts them 3 wide.
Parecia que não ia dar mais batida, já que, como eles estavam, o pelotão na frente fugiu, o pessoal ia tentar se organizar em fila indiana para buscar. Mas nem deu tempo de se reorganizarem. Tinha muita gente que vinha lá atrás embalado querendo aproveitar. Achou que já só tinha 2 carros, um carro por dentro, mas tinha 2.
So I think Gus Dean got out of that. He's still shown in 10th position.
There's another view of that initial contact between Gus Dean and the 8 of Chase Purdy. Hoff does a nice job avoiding the 32 of Dean right there. But they get down to the corner. Watch them squeeze right here, guys.
Just not enough room.
Show demais.
Once the cars get attached, it's over.
É uma vez que os dois se engancham, não tem mais o que fazer.
You see the green and white car go by Michael Self. That was Tom Hessert above Michael Self. Leilani does a nice job driving by before they come down off the banks. Bobby Gerhart getting through.
And here's Gus Deans on board, and watch him squeeze through this. More damage possibly now to the right front of his car.
Thomas Prater getting by on the outside with that 9 car.
So this works out for some that have been quick, like Zane Smith, who's lost all kinds of track position. Maybe he still has life running in 17th.
Yeah, Tom Hessert, Michael Self, who would drop back a little ways. Now they're back up in the top 15. Natalie Decker is able to make a pit stop and work on her car. Look at all the damage to that 77 of Bo Lamastus.
Pit road is closed, but significant damage for Lamastus, so he'll come in and do the work. So caution number 4, another restart coming, and Sean Corr is the leader of the Arca race at Daytona. Stay with us on FS1.
Adicionar aqui só para mostrar a loucura que eu estou fazendo também. Enquanto estou tentando narrar a corrida, também estou correndo aqui de NASCAR Racing. Deixar aqui no final, telinha pequena por enquanto, só para mostrar. Quando acabar a prova, daí eu deixo em tela cheia. E quando voltar do comercial aqui. Também por isso não estou falando mais tanto. Enfim. Tem esse campeonato que era para começar em dezembro do ano passado, no domingo à noite, no sábado à noite e domingo à tarde. E só começou agora, no início do ano. Não pensei que já ia logo na primeira corrida de Daytona já ter conflito. Então, mais um warm-up. Correndo em Montreal sem som. Nunca andei aqui de NASCAR. Então pegando o jeito, só tentando decorar os pontos de frenagem, já que Montreal é só ponto de frenagem.
Pit procedures are such that the pit was closed and she was given the free pass. So that was another lap under caution around the racetrack before she could come in. They taped the top of the fender very well, but they're taking extra time now to build the left front nose where your directional or your headlight would be on your passenger car to get that built, because there's nothing to build on, just the hood itself and the very front leading edge of the nose.
Critical right now for Natalie Decker, just to give her a solid race car, get more experience. Chance to win, probably gone away, but you can still get a pretty good finish here.
Oh, without a doubt. We've seen Gus Dean actually do a nice job with all the damage, but there has to be something behind that barrier bond. That barrier bond itself is not going to hold that air off, but maybe they have enough material behind that to keep its integrity.
Well, this is race number 1 of 2018 and one of the more diverse schedules in motorsport. Here is what's to come. Little time off
todo o calendário da Arca. Ano passado eles corriam em Road America, esse ano não vou correr mais. A Arca que tem corrida até em pista de terra, corre em Springfield. Por muitos anos era a única corrida de Stock Car em pista de terra, agora tem a Truck Series
Super speedways, intermediate tracks,
Eldora.
this guy beside me won on every type of a racetrack that they had last year.
I think he's pretty good.
What an amazing schedule. Daytona, Talladega to the dirt track, back to Charlotte for the first time in a while. It's going to be an exciting year.
It's Austin Terrio, the 2017 Arca champion.
Back to Gateway as well, that mile-and-a-quarter racetrack.
Absolutely.
Up near St. Louis.
They've done a lot of things at Gateway in the last few years. That has become a really good motorsports market.
Yeah, we have a great truck crowd up there when we go up there, and looking forward to that. It'll actually be a combination weekend with the Truck Series.
Bom, a Arca já está passando rápido, mesmo com as amarelas. Já estamos aí perto do final da prova. Mas não vai conflitar tanto assim com essa corrida aqui. Ainda tem 12 para o final. Deve ter green white checker se der amarela, né? Então pelo menos mais 20 minutos de prova. Se der um acidente muito grande, tem bandeira vermelha, daí demora muito mais.
Mark Thompson, though, Dylan, is in the mix here tonight.
And he's making his 100th career Arca start tonight. Former Daytona pole sitter in the Arca cars, won that in 2015. He's also trying to qualify for the Daytona 500 next Sunday. He and crew chief Carl Long have been using this almost as a test session for their Cup car. They've been racing throughout the day, and Mark has been reporting to Carl about what the car is doing, and they've been taking notes, trying to apply anything and everything they can to improve their Cup car effort. So kind of cool that there's a little bit of parlay and carryover from both these cars to the Cup cars.
He ran the Talladega Cup race last year, a two-time winner in 1997 in Arca at Charlotte and also at Michigan.
We have to assume the 43 is going to start on the bottom, so that means the 28 and the 54 cannot work together on this restart.
Dessa vez aqueles dois não vão poder se ajudar na relargada.
Yeah, we'll see which way Sean Corr goes, whether he wants Noah Gragson behind him or Travis Braden behind him. I'm sure there's some conversation going on pit road or up in the spotter stand.
Não vamos estar mais na fila da frente.
Who's going to work with who as we get close to 10 laps to go.
Running in 14th position, this is Tony Marakovic, who's making a super speedway debut. He had 3 starts last year. He's starting for Andy Hillenberg's team, just 19 years old. They've been pretty quick this weekend. Shuffled a little further back in the start, but really nice young man with a lot of road racing experience that's never done anything bigger than a mile. So a better place to start than Daytona International.
Yeah, great sponsor on board, the Smart emissions reducer. They were really excited about this effort.
Tony was actually a teammate of mine last year and enjoyed working with him.
I talked to Tony a little bit this morning, and he was really excited. He said, we didn't get the qualifying run that we wanted. I said, hey, you've got a long race here, and he's doing a nice job racing his way up into the top 15.
Report that Brian Doza has been checked, cleared, and released from the infield care center, one of those involved in this 4th caution just a little bit ago. So good to hear that. So what's going to happen on this restart? Sheldon Creed and Noah Gragson worked a plan together for the last restart when they were 1-2. Well, now Sean Corr is the leader as we watch Brett Holmes running in 5th position, having a really strong run tonight in his 2nd full-time campaign in Arca.
They weren't happy with the 2017 season, so they changed the paint scheme on the car. They changed their logo and everything. They wanted a fresh outlook. They did want to mention that Ben Leslie got hurt in a shop fire not too long ago. He's a couple weeks away from coming back to work, so we want to wish Ben a speedy recovery. They have a little logo on the beat.
Pesca já apaga as luzes, filas duplas se formando. Vamos relargar na próxima volta. Com 9 voltas para o final.
We're with his crew chief, Mike Cheek. Mike, what's Sean saying? Does he feel like he's got a shot to hold him off here these last 10 laps?
Oh, yeah, that car loves the fresh air. If we can just get a decent restart, this thing will pull away, I think. I want to give a shout-out to Sean's dad, Mr. Corr, our owner. He's in the hospital, a little ill down in New Smyrna. Boss, we'll see you tomorrow, trying to bring you a little something happy here.
Be awfully cool to see a Petty Blue 43 back in victory lane at Daytona as well, guys.
Sean Corr's best career finish is 5th, and that came right here back in 2013. This is his 46th career Arca starts.
If Sean can pull this off, you know, Mike Cheek's nickname is Grumpy, and I don't think he's going to be too grumpy if he can pull this off.
E eu vou largar aqui na 2º lugar, na primeira fila. Vamos ver o que vai dar. Não sei se vou poder narrar muito agora.
I think that's very fortuitous. Gragson might have the best car right now among those up front, but there are a lot of contenders. I'm not sure I could pick one.
Yeah, I think the 28 and the 54 would like to work together if it works out. But sometimes, obviously, now they're in different lines and different rows, and you have to go when you can.
So Creed has Travis Brayton behind him on the top line. Thompson, then Herbst. That's the high line. Then you see Dean back there. On the bottom line, it's Core, Gregson, and under 10 to go. Pace car about to pull off. It might be the final restart to determine the season opener for the Arca Racing Series, presented by Menards.
Vamos para a relargada.
Get a good restart here, and don't leave the guy right behind you. Have him go with you. Motion for him when you're getting ready to jump in the throttle.
Watch Brett Holmes back there, third in line on the bottom line. Chase Purdy back there in the red Bama Buggies car.
Bandeira verde tá valendo. Chegada a hora da verdade.
Gregson trying to push Core along. But Brayton is giving a good bump as well.
As duas duplas eles se empurrando. Quem é que consegue ficar em fila indiana? É de fora um pouco melhor agora. Lá atrás sem carro tocou no muro, que teve que soltar o pé. Não sei se tocou no muro, mas teve problema. Dispara na frente, Creed. Cuidado com o efeito ioiô. Segundo e terceiro estão muito próximos e podiam se alinhar, se ajudar. Todo mundo enfrentando agora. Quem é que vai tentar ir por fora? 7 voltas e meia para o final.
Those guys on the outside need to get in line. Stay single file and try to catch that front pack.
Sean Core still in second, takes a little bump from Gregson, hangs on to it. Brayton in fourth, Holmes, Purdy, that's the top 6. They've spread out a little bit.
Oh, we're going to see a caution. Caution is out.
Bandeira amarela.
10 car of Marakovic, we just mentioned, slowing to a stop on the apron. Caution.
I wonder if he was one of the guys that only made that one pit stop early on. Now we're hearing that maybe he made some contact with the outside safer barrier. There's Michael Self going by him.
Possibly some oil. Looks like
because Michael Self was all up against the wall, and then Tony came along and made some contact with the wall.
There was a big slide. Let's see what we can see again. Oh, he slid up into Michael Self. So Marakovic got up into Self, who then hung on to it, and then Marakovic slid up a little higher.
Almost looked like a right front tire or something went down quick on Marakovic's car as sharply as he turned right.
Sétima amarela. São 7 voltas para o final. Quinta amarela.
A little bit of damage.
Both on the left and the right. Left where Marakovic made contact with him, and the right side from the
Creed
wall.
novamente na frente.
And now Sheldon Creed on this restart is going to have what he likes, because he's going to have Noah Gregson behind him. He's in third, so it's Creed, Core, Gregson, Brayton, Holmes the top 5, Purdy, and Gus Dean still within reach.
Yeah, when you said earlier this might be the last restart, I was thinking myself, I'm not too sure about that.
I wouldn't have bet on that, but it might have been.
Talvez seria a última relargada, mas não tinha tanta certeza quanto a isso quando você falou. É o que estava dizendo o narrador ali.
Driven by General Tire is nearing a conclusion.
Montreal já estava aqui na terceira relargada. Torcer para que não dê problema. As outras duas me livrei. Relargada em Montreal é sempre complicado. Mais uma relargada. Nossa. Eu vou deixar aqui que eu tô fazendo isso também. Faço parte, igual daqui a pouco vai acabar a corrida. E eu ia trocar em tela cheia. Mas uma tela pequena aqui. Vamos para a quarta largada, tentativa de largada. NASCAR em Montreal com aquela chicane inicial é sempre complicada.
In the Arca opener at Daytona, we saw similar happenings last year. Austin Terrio is joining us in the booth with Phil Parsons. I'm Kevin Lee. In the final stages last year, with Austin out in front, heavy damage for Justin Fontaine in the 33. Cody Robaugh, Bobby Gerhardt also involved. And I saw Justin at the racetrack today. Good to see him. He's got a full-time Truck Series ride.
Essa corrida desse ano está bem menos acidentada. Também não está tão equilibrado quanto a gente pensou, quanto eu pensei que estaria. Todo mundo lado a lado, vamos para a relargada.
Well, you never want to tell yourself that you've got the checker flag in hand, and it's never over till it's over. So what these guys have to do, they have to focus one last time. There may be other cautions. Let's just hope that they go green here and finish it out, but total focus from here on out.
Let's check in with Dylan.
Well, and Sean Corr's guys are happy for that caution because it puts him in the outside lane. Travis Braden pushed Sheldon Creed to the lead on the last restart. So this time, the 43 car is in front of Travis Braden. They've got Chase Purdy third in line on the outside lane as well, who has not been shy today about using his front bumper to push cars. So Sean Corr and his guys hoping for a similar situation to happen on this restart, maybe put them back up front.
Who do we like up front of this pack of the top 7, 8, maybe even 10 cars?
I like that inside line. I like Creed and
Gregson
lined up together.
Sem som, sem nunca ter dado de Montreal em NASCAR. Tá certo, todo mundo errou no Qualify.
I'm going to go with the underdogs on the outside, Corr and Braden.
5 to go. Looking for the pace car to pull
proteger a linha certa na hora certa.
Creed on the bottom side. Corr up top. Neither have won in Arca. Gregson has won in the Truck Series, not in Arca. Braden won his very first race, trying for number 2. He restarts in 4th.
Já bateu forte. Relargada.
Creed on the bottom side. Can Braden help push Corr to the front? Chase Purdy making it a 3-car push on the outside.
Great start on the outside by your guys, Austin. But look at that inside line. Look at the inside line go.
Nosing in front, it's Sheldon Creed leading again at Daytona.
Sheldon Creed liderando. Boa briga lado a lado.
Sean Corr. Now Sean's going to try to side draft to kill the momentum on the inside.
Braden is fast, and now he's on the bottom side, chasing Gregson and Creed. Holmes right there on the bottom side in the 23.
See, Tom Hessert, Michael Self went through the middle, put the 66 of Mark Thompson on the outside.
Purdy has moved up top. We'll see if he can push Corr back into contention. Right now, the top 2 have checked out just a bit. Creed and Gregson. 3 to go in Daytona.
3 voltas pro final.
See that outside line trying to get a little momentum. Look at the black and blue car of Hessert with a bit of a run. He's pull up on the back of the 8 of Purdy. Now he's going to go around the outside, put Purdy in the middle. Michael Self's helping him on the outside.
Oh, and Purdy's just going backwards there in the middle with no help. Self in the green and white, 15. Moons are down on the grass. Will it stay green?
Great save by Leilani.
Trying to get out of the way as we come to the line with 2 to go coming up.
3 wide.
Back there for 5th position.
3 carros lado a lado.
Gus Dean be racing for the 4th spot with all that damage in that 32 car.
Top 4 have checked out just a bit. Creed, Gregson, Braden, and Holmes.
Just 2 to go.
Dean is in 5th, then Core, Hesser, Herbst, Purdy, and Self.
Passa aí, amor, passa.
Prater, Zane Smith, who dominated early, is back in 12th position.
Nossa, carros por toda parte.
Wants to go to the outside, but he has to be careful here.
He needs to wait a lap, I think. Don't want to take a shot now. Purdy's pushing Core in the outside.
And you don't want to show them your move until you're ready.
Coming down for the white, Kevin.
Through the tri-oval, Sheldon Creed with Noah Gregson on his bumper. 2.5 miles to go in the season opener at Daytona. And we're back to a dozen right there in a pack. Creed into turn number 2. Gregson a car length behind. Another car length back to Braden. Here comes Corrigan in that blue 43 on the top side with a good push from Purdy. And they're wrecking.
Nossa, batida forte. E eu bati aqui também. Uau!
A big one here at Daytona, but keep in mind, this is not the finish of this race. We will see a 1-lap shootout to determine this one. So another restart coming. And that's Holmes on his side. Thompson also
que sorte que o fogo apagou, hein?
and multiple cars involved here on the final lap at Daytona.
Ficar presa assim, com o carro em chamas não ia ser legal.
He survives the early contact, a couple of more near misses with contact. His day looks like it will come to a close and we will have a red flag.
E agora sim a bandeira vermelha que eu falei.
And you just fight for space, and you get to the last lap, and you know if you give up 3 or 4 feet, then you're probably not going to get it back.
There's Mark Thompson, who's having such a good run. We see him moving around in the car.
Winning that down.
I want to see Brett Holmes, who was on his side. There's Brett moving around. That's Gus Dean, I'm sorry. That's Gus Dean. He says he's okay.
He gave that car a great ride after all that damage he got earlier in the race.
And through all of that, Sean Core is shown in 2nd position. But we'll wait and see how this all plays out once they get things settled in.
Yeah, it all depends on when the Arca racing officials put the caution flag out, because you cannot advance your position once the caution flag is displayed.
But he was moving on that top line. He's definitely in the top 4 or so.
Definitely had some momentum, yes. Yeah. He could very well be in 2nd.
The top lane had a bunch of good cars there right before that wreck. He had the 41 of Zane Smith, Purdy.
I think Zane ended up with a lot of damage in this incident as well.
So I think that's a good sign that Brett Holmes is okay, because they're working on just putting the car back upright.
I believe that's Zane right there, isn't it?
It does look like
Zane.
Smith.
Yep. He walked under his own power to the ambulance. It's good to see.
He had a great run early. A little contact on pit road, got shuffled back. And too many good cars. It was too difficult to make your way back to the front. Gus Dean climbing out.
And remember, as you mentioned, we will have a 1-lap shootout.
Because they saw a white flag, that's why.
Vai ser só uma volta de relargada, por causa que já deu a branca. Ao menos vai ter uma volta. Normalmente era fim de prova.
Green and white together when they restart this race for 1 lap. But that doesn't mean that's going to be it. If we have another incident on that last lap, then we will have another restart. We will finish this race under green.
We got time.
A regra da NASCAR, da Arca é tentar terminar a corrida em bandeira verde.
We've kept Austin up here the whole time. We might as well just finish it off.
It's good view though, isn't it?
Great view.
Not as good as the view he had last year out front. We'll take that one.
Graças a Deus hoje não tem o Clash depois da Arca, então não tem pressa. Isso é muito bom, de ter movido o Clash para outro dia. Parecia que hoje não ia ser problema, mas já deu tanta amarela, mesmo que não deu acidente. Cada amarela era 10 voltas aí. E agora, finalmente tem uma boa disputa, tá uma vermelha.
He knows he's in first place, but the race is not over yet.
He seems like a pretty calm character to me, but that may be just outward appearance. Everyone has to feel it, because I put you in the same category. You appear as calm and as steady as anyone I've ever met, what are you feeling in those circumstances?
You still feel it.
Yeah.
You still feel it. 1 lap to go. The race is not over. Anything can happen.
Mesmo com uma volta liderando, mesmo só tendo uma volta, quem está liderando agora está bem nervoso. Muita coisa pode acontecer.
You can see the roof is intact with that car. It did not smash. Didn't look like it landed on the roof. Certainly landed on the side and slid along on its side.
We'll have to see a replay of that.
So it's going to take a little bit to clean up the carnage from this one, and then we are in store for a 1-lap shootout with great stories up front. Sheldon Creed has won Stadium Super Truck Championships. He's driven on road courses. There's Brett Holmes. Good to see.
Absolutely.
Definitely disappointed, but it's good to see him out.
Yeah, he had a great run going to. Did a really nice job. Looking for a fresh start to the 2018 season, and he was within a half a lap having a great finish.
Now, if our monitors are correct, Chase Purdy's running 5th, and just a lap before that, he was in the middle lane headed backwards, so good recovery for him.
So let's go back and look at how all of this got started. Look at the 23 on the bottom side. Holmes.
Sente forte, começando de maneira espetacular. Speedway de Daytona.
But he catches him in the right rear corner, and that turns him sideways. And I think he launched off the front of the 66.
E Senna agora pega fogo.
If it wouldn't have been for that incident, the outside line definitely would have had a shot at the win.
And I think
não fosse por esse incidente, a linha de fora certamente ia ter uma boa chance de vencer.
Under this red flag.
See, look at the momentum the outside lane had before that.
I'm not sure, though. It depends on.
Remember, it's not instantaneous. I mean, it's not. You know, the caution flag is going to come out as soon as they can, because they know the damage is severe enough that we need a caution flag. As you see Brett Holmes sliding down driver's side.
That's going to be close because Core definitely had the momentum and it was on his way. From that angle, it looks like he is ahead of him.
It does.
I think so.
Yeah, sure does.
And then Purdy is up there. And Zane Smith almost was ahead of it, and he got hit on the rear quarter.
Yeah, Dave Mader III made hard contact with Zane Smith. Dave Mader was doing a nice job. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. He's a former winner here in the series back in, what, 91?
Correct.
He won a race at Michigan. He was a Snowball Derby winner in 1978.
On board with Gustine.
Nossa, que erro.
Try to get out from that situation.
Riley Herbst has had a few close calls tonight.
Both those cars in front of him involved in the incident. Let's see how Riley gets through here.
Looks like he takes a wild ride through the grass.
He dodged 2 of them. Didn't spend too much time on the grass, though.
Did a great job. This is going to be a great view right here. Look at everybody going down to the grass. That's Thomas Prater, that yellow and black car that went through the grass a little bit, and then we saw Riley Herbst go through the grass.
Nossa, que ângulo.
Prater came out of that scored in the 6th position.
Yeah, you see Riley Herbst is pushing the 32. Really, Gustine, we heard him trying to get out of the throttle, but he's being pushed from behind. Just made contact with the wrong spot on that 32. Look how far underneath the 32, the 23 that Gustine goes. Michael Self going through there. There's Tom Hessert, the 55, going through there. There's the contact from Dave Mader.
Big impact.
He was fastest in practice here on Thursday.
Yeah.
He was really enjoying his weekend.
I'm not sure there was a happier person in the garage here than Dave Mader.
So this is all in the back stretch going in, heading towards turn 3. Look at the visual of those sparks.
Yeah, amazing pictures.
And there's the aftermath of the 23 for Brett Holmes. So Holmes, Dean, Smith, Mader, and Thompson among those involved. We have a green-white finish coming up. One lap to determine the opener at Daytona. Stay with us on FS1.
Comercial. Quanto tempo até limpar essa pista, hein? Acho que vai mais pelo menos 20 minutos. Aqui agora estou em 7º lugar. Depois de uns acidentados. Não sei como cheguei a liderar. Só porque o pessoal bateu no Qualify. E eu que bem conservadora, pela primeira vez andando na pista, larguei em 2º lugar. Já na volta 8:19. Começando a pegar o jeito da pista. Vamos ver o tempo dessa volta. 37, tá. Sempre andando em 45, que não é bom. Vai cada vez um pouco melhor. Longo comercial. Aproveitar a vermelha, né?
We're done at UFC 221 prelims on FS1 as Damian Beatdown Brown steps into the octagon to face Dong Hun Kim. Plus Rob Wilkinson welcomes Israel Adesanya in his UFC debut. UFC 221 prelims coming up next on FS1 or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Another look at the white flag crash. Clean up coming to a close. One lap remaining. Coming up next from Daytona.
Daytona Day is coming.
The Daytona 500 is the great American race. I know it was the crown jewel moment of my career thus far.
And at Daytona, NASCAR's greatest drivers demand the fastest cars.
Can't wait to get behind the wheel of that 2018 Toyota Camry. Built in Kentucky and made for Victory Lane.
The Daytona 500 on Fox.
(44.5), melhor volta até então. Estou errando entrada 1. Pô, teve uma volta de comercial que durou só 5 segundos ali, né? Eu errei completamente agora. Perdi a concentração. Eles abusam demais também. Tinha que ter uma lei que não pudesse fazer, quando volta de amarela, quando volta de intervalo comercial, não pudesse ficar só 10 segundos e já colocar outro. É demais.
Thanks, Karen. We are under the red flag for the Lucas Oil 200 driven by General Tire in the Arca season opener at Daytona. Sheldon Creed is the leader, and Phil, since he's not as busy right now, see if you can check in with him.
Yeah, let's see what's on his mind.
Falar com o líder.
Hey, Sheldon Creed, Phil Parsons up on the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got a copy? Sheldon, you've done a great job with that United Rentals Toyota. What are you thinking here now, knowing you're going to have a one-lap shootout? What's your plan?
Yeah, I mean, we've had good restarts all night. Noah Gregson, the 54th, is really good, pushing us to 27. Now let's get back to the lead there, pushing us. So just got to do our job here, get a good last restart, get the gears good, and hopefully the 54th Noah does the same thing. And the biggest thing is just we don't want to be too light coming up the two, because that'll give us a better chance. So just got to do our jobs here, and hopefully we can come around with the lead.
Do you have a plan, Sheldon, to keep that 54 close to you? You don't want to get too far out in front of him. You have a plan to make sure he stays with you?
I mean, hopefully we just hook up and I can lay off the gas a little bit. We can stay connected, or just gotta watch him. If he tries to make a move, I gotta just kind of block, I guess. So just gonna try to do our job here. We've had a good car all night. The MV guys have killed it all week, so just gotta get it win for them.
We've done a great job all night, buddy. Finish it off.
Thank you.
Let's find out what's happening on pit road with some of those on top of the stand making decisions. We start with Dylan.
And we're down with Coley Barraclaw, who's the crew chief for Chase Purdy, who runs fifth right now. You guys were back near the back of the top 10 just about 4 or 5 laps ago. Now you're back up to fifth. How are you able to get back up there so quickly?
Just do what TJ tells him to do. He's doing a good job. It's his first Speedway race. Pretty proud of him. So I think we're going to line up fourth. So whoever gets in front of us, we're going to push him to victory lane, and hopefully we can follow him.
What has the learning process been like for Chase over the course of this race? It is his first Daytona start.
He's learned that riding the bottom is a lot easier. It's a lot more work to ride outside, and he learned that. He's been out there, but he's done a good job. He's kept it clean. He's helped everybody around him, so that's what he's here for, get respect, and that way they'll work with him better next time.
One lap, can you go from fifth or fourth to the win?
Anything can happen in this race, so we're gonna, whoever's in front of us, we're gonna help push him out there, and if we go with him, if we can get by him. But we're running out of time. We just want a nice, I'm happy with the finish we got right now. If it ended right now, for the long term, for Chase, good learning curve. He'll be all ready for Talladega.
Chase Purdy restarting fifth. That's the thoughts of the man calling the shots for him, Coley Barraclaw. Let's go to Jim Trado.
Starting just ahead of him on this restart when we go back green, Dylan, is the driver, the number 54 of Noah Gregson. His crew chief for DGR Crosley Racing is Chris Lawson. And Chris, I know your spotter's been way engaged. Jason Hedleski's been through a lot with Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards for years behind the wheel. Now he's got Noah, and you've got a new car, a new team, and this driver's been able to put that car just about anywhere. What's your strategy now as we're nearing this one lap to run?
Well, even as good as Jason is, we actually got Tony Hirschman up there, and he's doing an amazing job. So I want to give a lot of credit to him. And really, it's between him and Noah is what has put us in the spot we're in. So just going to hope that 8 pushes us, man. That's what it's down to now.
Now, you guys made a deal earlier with Sheldon Creed saying, okay, we're going to play nice with the 28. We're going to make sure we get a distance, get a gap. Any other strategies playing out with Sheldon Creed will start just ahead of you?
I mean, I think it's every man for himself now. I mean, we're 1 lap away, and I think you just got to go.
That's the crew chief, Chris Lawson, for the number 54 of Noah Gregson. Noah's only got 1 prior Arca Racing Series start here at Daytona. He said, I need more drafting experience. And this team went, since they got here, building this car a month ago without coming to the test in January. They've got a strong piece to the finish here, guys.
All right, thank you, Jim. Also, we've got information of those involved, checked and released from the Infield Care Center. That includes Brett Holmes, Gus Dean, Zane Smith, and Mark Thompson. They're all okay. So we're lined up, ready to go for one more lap. How did we get there? It has been an eventful night here tonight, starting with 20-year-old Natalie Decker on the pole and Zane Smith on the outside grabbing the early lead.
Pretty calm for about 24 laps. Then we had the 99 Ronnie Osmore losing engine. Then we had a couple cars.
Eu achei que ia acabar logo a corrida e não ia atrapalhar tudo assim, mas não tá dando nada.
Gus Dean with some early damage stayed in. Riley Herbst, one of those expected to be quick with some problems early on.
A lot of issues on pit road today.
Yeah, Zane Smith leaving his pit, runs into the 5 of Bobby Gerhart.
And then further back, Daniel Sazlin going around, causing one of our 5 cautions.
Ed Papa, the 22, gets involved along with Andrew Belmont. Another view from what Natalie Decker saw, or for an instant anyway.
She was able to escape a couple of different times. Here, though, got into the back of Max Tolman, one of the early contenders. He led laps in the beginning, but took some contact.
Yeah, just a chain reaction on a restart. Natalie got the worst of it, unfortunately.
Decker, by the way, is still in this, though. She'll restart in 10th. Here's Gus Dean, Quinn Howe, Bo Lamastis, Brian Doza, all making significant contacts.
Here's the most recent caution that brought out the red flag with Brett Holmes getting turned around with contact from Gus Dean. Hard hits. Bo Lamastis involved in this as well. Mark Thompson. I'm sorry, not Bo Lamastis, but Mark Thompson involved with this.
And that was on the white flag lap. And that's why we are red right now. And they're rolling again. We're under yellow. When we take the green, it will be a 1-lap shootout. So, Austin, we heard from a driver, we heard from crew chiefs. First, what are you doing if you're Sheldon Creed to help your chances in front?
Well, I'm still hoping that the 54 of Gregson helps me get going. I mean, this restart is going to come down, and I think ultimately the winner of the race is going to come down to what happens between the start-finish line and the end of turn 2. I mean, the momentum that you have. I think if you have the lead coming out of turn 2, you're in a good position because you only got 1 lap. You don't have a second lap for other stuff to happen, and it's going to come down to the restart here and making no mistakes. You got to time your restart perfectly. You can't go too soon because you need the guy behind you to push you.
As Sheldon Creed told us on the radio a few moments ago, he's going to want help from Noah Gregson in the 54, but then he may have to play defense because Noah Gregson doesn't want to finish second in this race.
Yeah, Noah did not come here to run second, so you're going to help the 28 until you feel like you possibly have a run to pass him, but we just don't have a lot of time left, so I think the 28's in the catbird seat, but anything can happen.
But Sean Corr's been so good on the outside in that 43 car, and he's going to have a good pusher. He's going to have either Chase Purdy or Travis Braden, depends on who's going to line up in the 4th spot.
We're definitely not counting him out yet.
It looks like Chase Purdy now is lined up in the 4th spot. His crew chief was right. Coley was right. They're going to restart in the 4th position.
So, Phil, let's say you are Noah Gregson, and you're starting behind Creed. Is your best hope get the 2 of you past the outside line, and then if you want, if you see the other line coming, you can jump in and go with the high line?
Well, that's what I would want to do. I would try to push Sheldon Creed out where I'm clear of maybe Sean Corr, whoever may be leading that outside pack, and then just immediately jump in the outside and try to leave Sheldon Creed by himself.
Because at that point, Creed doesn't have anybody behind him, and you move to the outside with momentum there. So.
And as we said, Noah Gregson is not running for points in Arca. He's a full-time Camping Wheel Truck Series driver.
Vai largar então para apenas uma volta de bandeira verde. Uma coisa tem que terminar em bandeira verde. Se der um novo acidente, eles vão tentar novamente após limpar a pista do acidente.
And then there are those that are lurking. Just a little further back, like Tommy Prater, Michael Self, Riley Herbst, Tom Hesser, a lot of experience here. Natalie Decker restarting in the 10th position. Bobby Gerhardt restarts at 12th, looking for a 9th win here at Daytona. He's the only one entered this year.
Já tem 8 vitórias. O único piloto em todo o pelotão que já venceu aqui em Daytona. E isso que nos últimos 5 anos acho que ele não ganhou. É o John Westphalen, venceu uma pelo menos. Eu sei. Tem vários pilotos aí que já saíram da Arca, né? Quase sempre os jovens aspirantes aí.
Has never done any kind of oval race more than about a half a mile. He's got a lot of road course racing experience, and he is loving his weekend here, and it's going really well, and he's planning on hopefully doing a few more ARCA races this season.
He's done a nice job.
Michael Self and Riley Herbst, 2 cars that had issues at the beginning of the race, running in the top 10.
Yeah, even in what we think is a really quick race with 80 laps, you still can persevere and get yourself back into contention.
Now, let's not forget, this is race 1. These guys are going to be competing all year. Coming out with a top 10 finish is is not the end of the world. You know, you can build on that.
It's Daytona.
It's Daytona.
Would you have been happy last year with a top 10?
No.
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying, but definitely, you know, if you're running for points and you win this race, this could put your year on a really, really, really good projection as far as knowing that you got a good team and the confidence can take you so far.
We've got a great view there of Michael Self. What an amazing record he has here in Arca. Over the limited number of starts he's had so many top 5 finishes, including that big win at Kansas last year. Came from a long way back to get that win. Let's take a look back at Kansas, our last race of the year, when Austin Terrio was busy clinching a championship. Look at him there. How about that restart there? 5 wide. Emerges with the lead off of turn number 2 and goes on to victory.
That was a huge win for him.
Well, he had been so close a couple of other times. Similar, I think, to Sheldon Creed, too. He had some great restarts. Remember the one that Christopher Bell had last year? Was that at Chicagoland?
Sure was, so? Yeah.
So
ironically, that's the same car that Sheldon Creed's driving, the 28 car. Anyway, same team, MDN Motorsports.
So what's in store for us here? That little mix-up in timing and scoring. Maybe you noticed that on the left side of your screen. Sheldon Creed is the leader. Sean Corr is second. Then it's Noah Gragson, Chase Purdy, Travis Braden, Tommy Prater. Those are the front 3 rows. Self and Herbst, the 4th row. Hessert and Decker, the 5th row. And Willie Mullins right now running in 11th position.
It's another guy that has a top 10 finish here at Daytona on his resume.
Finished 8th last year at Daytona. Willie Mullins did. Running for Hickson Motorsports. So now you drift through the cloud in the speedy drive. Let some of that dissipate a little bit, and the cleanup is pretty close to done. They'll drag it down the main stretch you see there.
Ainda estão jogando cimento seco.
Don't forget, right after we're done,
Coitado de quem só parou naquela primeira amarela, tá tentando economizar gasolina para chegar no final.
Also look into the FS Go app as well. Noah Gragson is rolling down pit road.
Got to be an out of gas situation.
Jim, what do you know?
Yeah, the matter of fact is, when Noah got on the high banks in 3, he said, guys, I think we're out of fuel. We're out of fuel. So Noah Gregson's chances and all that interest in what he was going to do on the restart goes for naught, as he needs a splash and go here on this caution line.
So if he ran out, who else is worried?
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody that pitted back when the 28 and the 54 did.
There are a lot of crew chiefs right now sweating on pit road.
And if I'm these guys, when they get down to turn number 3, I'm going to drive along the flat of the racetrack as much as I can. There's some safety equipment over in turn 4 on the flat, but I'm going to stay on the flat, stay away from that bank where that fuel will run away from the pickup. The pickup is over in the right rear corner of these fuel cells, so you want to stay on the flat as much as you can.
We're not ready to go green this time by. There's still a safety truck. Exit of turn 4 and a couple down on the apron in turn number 4. So what does Sheldon Creed have?
We see these guys so many times shut the engine off to try to save fuel. I'd be afraid the engine wouldn't refire.
You have to be careful with these engines because they're fuel injected. They need the fuel. It doesn't act like a carbureted engine, and it's more difficult to restart. I've had them not restart on me a couple times, and I think it actually happened to me here, where you have to cycle the engine and stuff. But these drivers are possibly in situations they never dealt with before.
Let's see if we're going to give them 1 to go this time. No indication yet from the flagman.
Not this time.
So that's another year off the life of every crew chief.
A lot of puckering on pit road. So Sean Corr in position to start on the top side. Let's find out more about the 28, Jim.
Yeah, there's 3 MDM team cars down here. The leader is the 28 of Sheldon Creed. His crew chief is Jeff Stankiewicz. He took a walk down to confer. How worried are you on fuel with the 28, Jeff?
Well, now I'm starting to get worried. I have a feeling with all the speedy drive they put down, we're probably going to have another 2 laps of caution. He's saving everything he can right now, but we're still committed at this point. It is what it is. So there's nothing we can do about it now, and hopefully it all works out. We'll have our teammates starting behind us on the inside, so as long as we all have the fuel to do it, I'm pretty excited about that.
Again, their last pit stop and only pit stop for fuel came back on lap 23. About 5 laps prior to our most recent caution, the team was, the crew chief, Jeff, told his driver, hey, I think we're good, no longer need to turn the motor off under caution. But now that changed the scenario with this longer extension here. And as he mentioned, 2 more laps of caution could mean more than just the 28 is worried about fuel.
On Nick Galopoulos, we saw rolling down pit road. So that teammate he mentioned, that's Chase Purdy in the 8 car. He'll be right behind Creed, the leader.
One of the only downsides at leading at Daytona is that you burn more fuel. And so if you look at Creed right now, that's why they're sweating, because they're up front. You don't have the draft to depend on, so you always burn
Já
more fuel.
acabou a corrida aqui em Montreal e ainda não acabou a corrida da Arca.
We'll get about 6 miles of the gallon, and again, that's just running green flags through and through. These caution laps certainly have helped. There's no way that they would have been able to make it this far without caution laps. We did speculate earlier that maybe a car lost a right front tire when he made contact with Michael Self. That was not the case. That right front tire was up on that car.
Furled flag.
Here we
1
go.
lap to go before we restart. Reed side drafting the pace car a little bit. And eventually Sean Corr will line up next to him. What a story that would be for Sean Corr. He's had some experience in the Camping World Truck Series. He's done a few races there, a lot of ARCA races, never better than 5th. And that was here at Daytona. Sheldon Creed is one of those drivers that, one of many in this lineup that we think have a chance to be superstars on the brink of winning his first big stock car race. Chase Purdy, an up-and-comer. Travis Braden, very talented, on and on and on. Don't forget, UFC 221 prelims are right now on FS2, and after we're done, here on FS1. And when we go green, we will have 1 lap to go. Arca finishes on green, so we could have multiple opportunities.
How about Thomas Prater now running in the 5th spot? His best career finish is 7th. He's been in the top 10 at points the last 5 years. I'd love to see him able to finish this off and get him a good finish. Looks like somebody's overheating there. Is that Natalie?
Looks like it.
She is in 9th position right now.
That wouldn't be that big a deal other than the fact, remember, these engines will retard the timing and they will lose some horsepower when it gets above 240 degrees of water temperature.
So you want to be on the lookout if you're right behind her as well. So, set to go for a 1-lap shootout to determine the biggest race of the Arca Racing Series schedule.
Ok, uma volta para determinar o vencedor da principal corrida da temporada da Arca.
On the bottom side, in the white number 28 United Rentals, MDM Motorsports, Toyota. The 43 on the top side is 33-year-old
na primeira fila.
In the Empire Racing Ford,
Entra o
and
pace car.
Others still have a chance to get it done. Pace car is off. Creed controls.
Bandeira verde tá valendo.
Teammate Chase Purdy pushing him on the bottom. Here we go with 1 to go at Daytona. And Creed has
Seu companheiro empurrando ali.
Outside,
os dois se tocam.
Good pushes from the second row for both these guys.
O pessoal da segunda fila está empurrando muito bem. 43 indo para frente. 28 quase perdendo ali o Creed. Quase roda. Incrível a distância que eles abriram para o 3º lugar. O pessoal de trás. E o toque, a batida forte. Os 4 batem. Bandeira amarela, não vai terminar ainda a Arca. Mais um bacon. Devemos ter mais uma bandeira vermelha. Esse carro aí tá torto.
Riley Herbst also involved.
A lot of cars involved in that incident. There's Travis Braden. Look at all the damage to that 27 car.
Oh my, we are going to get a wild card winner here at Daytona. With the leaders coming together with 1 turn to go.
That's the onboard from Travis.
Essa é a Arca que eu conhecia.
We've talked about it all day. it's so tough to go bumper to bumper for a whole lap here, and what you just saw in turn 3 was the consequences of that.
Quase completaram uma volta empurrando o outro.
On the other side of him.
And the idea is that it's okay on the straightaways, but you want to get off the bumper in the corners. But last lap, nobody's going to get off the bumper.
Yeah, these cars are really hard to drive, especially when the rear wheels are off the ground.
So there's Braden.
See him moving around inside the car. That's from his onboard camera. Chase Purdy right there, doing such a nice job in this race. See all the grass and the grill of the 28 of Sheldon Creed.
And he was the leader.
Now we're still going to have issues with fuel.
Yep.
E problema da gasolina.
We know that the 15 of Michael Self and the 3 of Willie Mullins were the first 2 cars to emerge from that turn 4 melee. There's Travis Braden climbing out of his car. Chase Purdy out of his car as well.
So Creed was involved in that as well, but he seems to have somewhat come through it as the red flag is out once again. As you can see, the cars all coming to a stop. So right now it's Michael Self, Willie Mullins, Noah Gragson back up to 3rd, now with fuel. Not as much of a concern as others. Then Creed and Kirk Horton, and that's how they're scored for the moment, so that's not official. I made some double checking. Bobby Gerhardt in 6th, Tom Hessert, John Ferrier, Max Tolman back in 9th, and Andrew Belmont.
We saw Andrew involved in that early incident on the front straightaway, but I'm telling you, if Noah Gragson can be up there somewhere in the top 5 after pitting, what, 1 lap ago, basically, that would be an amazing comeback.
And he will be tough to hold off. All right, let's see what happened here. Creed on the bottom, Core on the top.
Nobody to blame here. These guys are just doing all they can do to be pushed. You see the 28 get pushed sideways, and then the 43 of Core and the 8 of Chase Purdy make contact. The 43 takes the 27 up into the outside wall. You see Michael Self go by relatively unscathed from this incident anyway.
Chase Purdy got tight on the bottom. You could see he didn't have any air on his nose, and he just couldn't keep it down there and got into the outside lane.
He didn't have any air on his nose because his nose was up underneath the back of the 28 car.
And you have to do that if you want to win the race, but you can see it here.
This is in the middle of the backstretch.
Bumper to bumper, gets tight.
You can see how much higher his nose was there with no air on it.
And once cars get together, it's over.
Thomas Braden, Chuck Hires, the 06 and the 9. There's Brad Smith making contact with the 06. There's Riley Herbst, the NAS car on the right.
I think we're going to need to count the cars that haven't made contact.
Yeah, exactly. Travis Braden's on board. Nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go.
On board with Natalie Decker.
She gets a good job. I'm sure Eddie DeHaan, her spotters, talking her through this. She gets through on the bottom now. Looks like the track's blocked in front of her. Brad Smith's going to go down there, pass her, and hit somebody.
She still did a good job getting through.
What an amazing job she did.
Uau.
Getting through that.
Conseguiu passar pelo acidente. Mas acho que sim conseguiu algum dano.
So this is Riley Herbst on board with his. He's had, what a many that's had an eventful night. Just about everyone has.
Nossa!
He was going to be okay till Brad Smith ran into the 06.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed, who almost got it.
Quase que o Creed consegue salvar o carro.
Yeah, spins down through the grass. If he kept that car going though and kept it rolling.
É capaz, ele ainda tá aí na briga pela vitória.
Then he still has a shot at this.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed in the 28 United Rentals car.
É uma, o jeito que desceu ali no, quando voltou para a rolagem. Nossa.
He may even get the line up in front of Noah Gragson right now.
Vai largar em terceiro ou quarto.
Depends
e aí a batida.
that he was maintaining speed and when the caution flag came out. Look at the damage. The 0.6 into the windshield of Riley Herbst.
As a former car owner, how much are you thinking when you see these? How expensive
Just
this is?
Dollar signs. Just dollar signs. I mean, after the fact, you think about trying to get that trophy first.
Yeah. And then second, you're making sure that the driver is safe.
Exactly.
But after that, it's this is gonna cost us a lot. So we're hearing that Noah Gragson is going to have to go to the tail. He's not going to keep his spots.
Yeah, we'll check with the Arca
Gragson
officials
vai
and
ter
find out what
que ir
the
pro
ruling
fim
is
da
on
linha. Ele que estava em terceiro ali. Então o Crit vai relargar em quarto, certo? Terceiro, aliás. Está em quarto agora.
Oh, it's something totally different. He was laying back on the restarts.
Yeah, and on the restart before the incident, and he was going to have a drive-through penalty. We're hearing from the Arca officials, even had this incident not happened. So, so they're going to put him back now. They're going to take that spot away from him, put him to the back of the lead lap cars, I would guess.
So let's take one more look here with Riley Herbst on another big one, on another potential white flag lap. So we'll try again for the third time from Daytona coming up.
Ah, quase sobreviveu. E agora sim, comercial. Deixa eu ver se tem alguém no Discord ainda ali da corrida. Tentar chamar para transição. Vamos ver o que eles estão achando da prova até então. Teixeira Lola. Vamos ver aí. Espera aí, tem que tirar o push to talk. Não, já está, detecção de voz. Você tem que aumentar a detecção, senão não vai abrir. Opa, e aí, beleza?
E aí?
Estão vendo a corrida da Arca?
A gente tá indo pra FTF, tentar uma qualificação. A pista é grande pra caralho.
Ah, beleza.
É 162.
A Arca...
Quem ganhou na Arca?
Não acabou ainda. Deu mais um bigo, relargou para uma só volta, bateram os 4 primeiros e mais uma galera que vinha atrás. Ele só termina quando cruzar a linha de chegada em bandeira verde.
A mulher bateu lá?
Também, ela desviou do acidente e já foi acertada no final. Tô aqui, vocês estão, só para avisar, vocês estão junto aqui na transmissão. Estou entrevistando a galera que tá no comercial em bandeira vermelha.
Ah, beleza, beleza. A gente tá acompanhando, eu acho. Acho que o Teixeira é assim. Quero aproveitar para fazer um merchan aí pra NRB, pra quem quer correr joguinho de NASCAR online aí.
Isso aí.
E, pô, o Jesse e o Uji, ele tá correndo ainda?
Quem?
O Uji.
Ah, não sei.
Pô, porque acho legal pra caramba, velho. Porque, tipo, geralmente essas categorias não tem muito histórico de negros, de mulheres, de latinos correndo.
Ah,
aí
sim.
Você vê em uma corrida de uma vez, um negro e uma mulher, eu acho legal demais.
Uhum. Darrell Wallace que vai estrear correndo com 43 em Daytona.
Nossa, o Bubba Wallace, espero que ele vença.
Double overtime now.
Isso aí.
Another white flag restart is coming up. Don't forget, after we're done, it's the UFC 221 prelims, and that's already airing. The UFC 221
e agora, peraí, que voltou a... Deixa eu reorganizar o áudio aqui.
Right now, and we'll join in when we are done after this red
Discord
flag
mais
is
alto
lifted and we
e a Arca
complete
mais baixo.
one lap here in the season opener for the Arca Racing Series. Presented by Menards. Michael Self under this red flag.
Então na segunda bandeira vermelha a Arca demora demais as amarelas e vermelhas. Então começou a corrida lá de Montreal. Tava com 20 pro final e ainda não acabou.
Well, we kind of planned a little bit.
Pena que eu perdi essas red flag, velho. Deve ter sido engraçado.
Depois tem
on the original start, so we need a little bit of help. But we've just back there been trying to take care of that.
Você pulando a parte amarela e bandeira vermelha, só deu acho que 5 minutos de corrida nas últimas 20 voltas.
Entendi.
Tá pra ver rápido.
Já entrou, certo?
Tá baixando a pista, tá demorando pra caralho.
Bom, boa corrida aí pra vocês, vou lá então.
Obrigado, boa transmissão.
What do you need from the cars behind you just to get into the front?
Well, the cars start behind us got same gear in a tranny and the same gear in the rear end. So I just told him, make sure he starts in second gear and pushes us and don't jack the wheels off the ground. If he does that,
depois tem que criar o Discord do meu canal aqui, trazer mais gente pra falar também.
But I think if we can get to run a good run on the top, I think we'll be all right. You just don't know. I mean, hell, we're second. We might be 10th for to get back to the checker. You know, we might be upside down too. So, you know, I'm just thrilled that they chose me to work for them. And, you know, we're a small team from Virginia and a lot of volunteer help, a lot of guys busting their ass to be here trying to live the dream, you know what I mean? And got to give a shout out to my boys, 10th in the Mod Space car. So I'm a little torn here. I'm watching the front and the back, you know what I mean? But I'm really blessed. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, 2 cars in the hunt here for Andy Belmont. Willie Mullins in second, and his son Andrew Belmont running in the 10th spot. Jim Trado?
Adventure Motorsports has 4 cars in the field. One driver that's worried about the lead is the number 15 of Michael Self. Self in the 15. Now that team, he's only got 10 races with him. So they have young Christian Eckes signed up for this team. Snowball Derby winner from a few years ago. And you know what? He has a chance to learn a lot here tonight. So he's on the ladder talking to who will be his crew chief on the short tracks here in the Arca Racing Series. And Kevin Reed's the 2-time Daytona winner here. Most recently in 2016. Now you've got all the scenarios played out. A lot of radio chatter. What are your thoughts as your car came clean through that to take the lead here on this restart?
Well, we come pit road. The rest of these guys in front of us hadn't pitted, so I'm going to imagine there's going to be a few more run out of gas here with as many laps as they've run. So I was trying to play it safe. Come to pit road, put gas in it early, come back to pit road to make sure we had enough for the end because it felt like it's going to be pretty racy here at the end. Michael Self is as good as race car drivers on the premises tonight, so he should be able to go win this thing. Hopefully we can get a push out of the box here and it can just be nice and smooth and we can take it home with us.
Kevin, your first stop was fuel only. You slid through. You came in and changed 4 tires. Is that any advantage now, having fresher general tires under your car at this point?
Having general tires is always a good, fresh general tires is always better than not. So we'll just take our chances here and go see what we can do.
It's Kevin Reed again, winning in 2013 and 2016 with 2 different teams. Same driver, John West Townley, looking for his 3rd ring in the last 4 years.
We saw Christian Eckes, who we'll see later this season, did a great job last year as a 16-year-old. Finished second a couple of different times, still just 17th. So we'll see him later on this season. Who are you going to dial up?
Let's see if we can talk to Michael Self. Hey, Michael Self, Phil Parsons, and up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Bill. Go ahead.
We've done a great job. You're trying to go 2 in a row here. I know it was a while ago when you won that Arca race at Kansas, but that was our last one. You've done a great job keeping that car essentially in one piece. And we just talked to Kevin Reed, and he had a great strategy to get you guys out front. What do you think?
Essentially, that's a key word there. We bounced this thing off the wall not long ago. Gotten lucky. Avoided a couple of wrecks. I don't know, man. I mean, I made a huge mistake earlier that I've been apologizing to my guys for when I blew my pit box on that second stop. But, I mean, Kevin and those guys, all the Ventura Motorsports guys on the Sinclair 15 car here, gave me a phenomenal car, so I felt terrible about that. I think he called the strategy, and, you know, the strategy didn't work out how he wanted because of my mistake.
Are you thinking the inside line here for this restart? Michael, you thinking the inside line here for the restart? We must have lost.
I think that's proprietary information.
He's
going to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, he does have the prime position to go here, and Willie Mullins will be on his outside. As Phil mentioned, Self won the last race of last season, looking to go 2 in a row. Willie Mullins has not won before. 37-year-old from Fredericksburg, Virginia. His best finish 8th here a couple of years ago at Daytona. It was a part-time schedule last year and this year as well.
Look at the speedy dry in turn 4.
Yeah, look at the grass on the grills of Noah Grexon's car right there, that black and white Camry, the switch Camry, you see all the grass where he went through the grass avoiding that incident over in turn 4. There's Bobby Gerhardt's car. He's got a bunch of grass as well. But if we pan a little bit to the right, we hear that Noah Gregson is going to have to go to the back for this restart. Looking at Sheldon Creed's car, too, a lot of grass on the grill of that car. So if they don't run too many laps under caution, then it shouldn't overheat. Remember, when these engines get to 240 degrees, they will detune themselves a little bit. And certainly he would not be able to run long with that much grass on that grill.
So fuel a concern for some, overheating a concern for some of the same and others.
And the beach. Here the beach over in this corner.
Olha
vision.
Vision,
yeah.
There's more sand than we have on the beach here in Daytona Beach.
So it's still going to take just a moment to get this finished up, but they're working on preparing the racetrack to resume. Now we've got plenty coming up tomorrow starting at noon on Fox. The front row will be set for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Qualifying is coming up at noon tomorrow, and then back here on FS1 it's NASCAR Race Day, leading up to the clash with the playoff drivers from last year, those that won a pole, former Daytona 500 winners, as long as you were running full-time last year. So I think 17 are entered in the clash tomorrow.
And remember, a little bit different format this year. After those Daytona 500 cars qualify, the next time they will be on the racetrack is for the duel on Thursday. No more practice from here on out. They will not be on the racetrack again until Thursday. They had their practices today, and that's it for them.
So normally one of the advantages to running the clash is getting a feel for racing here at Daytona, but how much an advantage, too, just getting a little extra practice time. There's not that much anymore.
A huge advantage, especially in race trim. You know, you're going to have the shoot at the clash in race trim, so that's a big advantage to those guys that are in it.
So, Austin, what are you thinking now? Especially kind of put your mind in the helmet of some of these that, frankly, probably weren't thinking they were going to have a chance to win when they entered this weekend. Now, I've got a chance to win the biggest race I'm going to enter.
Talk about a turn of events.
Yeah.
It wasn't long ago we were looking at some of these guys and commenting, maybe a 10th place finish was going to be good, but look at them. You know, Michael Self, some issues early on, like we mentioned before. And it's not only that, but you get the fact that a few red flags in a row. You know, it's getting hot. Guys are getting tired.
And girls.
Guys and girls are getting tired, and for some of these,
guys and girls,
this is the longest race they've ever run. You know, it's the short compared to the Daytona 500, but you got caution after caution, red flag. You know, the cars are holding up, but a lot of these guys and gals have damage too. So, I mean, we may see a winner, and that we may not even imagine. So we'll have to see how it turns out. I still think Michael Self's in a good spot right now. Creed, but you can't count row 3, 4, and 5 either. You can't count them out.
There's Bobby Gerhardt, who's won this race 8 times, 9 ARCA wins, all on super speedways. Jim, do you have more on the 5?
I'm with his brother, Billy Gerhardt, was a crew chief and on that team for all 8 wins and won at Talladega to make it 9. But I just reminded him, in 2012, their last win here at Daytona, they were in 7th position coming off of the final corner. 3 cars ahead of them ran out of fuel to the checkered flag, and guess who raced on to victory? You guys. Is that going to play out again tonight here, Billy?
You know what? It's been a crazy race, but never count Bobby out here. You know, we're missing a right front fender. He had a missing accident down there, locked the tires up, and then the right front blew going down the backstretch. But he says car's pretty good behind some folks, so we're not going to count him out here, and we have plenty of gas to make it to the end.
Now, when it comes to these bodies, you guys were able to build cars that you were able to use multiple years and keep them in the corner just for Daytona, just for Talladega. This has been a new undertaking. What have you learned with this body and keeping that speed? You showed it in practice, and now obviously with damage even in the race.
Well, you know what? We took one of our old chassis that's over 12 years old, and we like that status so much with those old cars, and we just worked the new body on it and tweaked some things and came here and tested last month, and we were really happy with the car. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best qualifying effort. We shook that off, and we knew it'd be tough coming from the back, hard to pass. But we'll see what happens here, but never count Bobby out here.
The Gerhardt boys collectively have never given up to the checkered flag falls. That's Billy Gerhardt, his brother Bobby. Might have a shot here. He's won it before in dramatic fashion, most recently in 2012.
And only 2 other drivers have more super speedway wins in ARCA than Bobby Gerhart. Tim Steele with 24. Frank Kimmel, who's here as a crew chief for Leilani Munter for the first time. He has 23. And 9 for Bobby Gerhart, and maybe 10 here today as we see Leilani Munter's onboard camera. Now, meanwhile, we heard from Andy Belmont a moment ago. He's crew chiefing the 3 car. He's a really good race car driver in his own right. Started almost 200 ARCA races, finished 3rd in points back in 2001. As he said, and you can speak to this because your son races, how challenging is that? He's calling one race and he's watching his son there in the number 2 car, Andrew Belmont, making his ARCA debut in his first time at Daytona. I'm sorry, his first time at Daytona. He did do a few ARCA races a few years ago.
Yeah, he's one of the 16 drivers making their first start here. Really has done a nice job. Remember, he got caught up a little bit in that incident earlier when Daniel Sasnick got into the outside wall on the front straightaway, but he soldiered on here and right now slides up into the top 10. So he's got a great shot at a good finish here. So really proud of him.
So the dust continues to fly. It is beginning to abate, we hope. Got the air tightness clearing things up, and we'll go back to 1 lap in a moment.
Mais um comercial. Será que agora a gente vai relargar? Mas com aquela foto do Speed Dry realmente... Vamos tentar buscar aqui. Adicionar Media File. Aqui a imagem da areia. Vai demorar um pouco para limpar isso mesmo. Ou menos está demorando. Já deve estar melhor. Mas foi muito carro que tentou passar pelo acidente, pelo meio dele. Afinal era a última volta. Ou perto disso. Para quem está gostando dessa aventura, ano passado em Talladega teve algo parecido com a Arca. Eu até não assisti a prova toda. Eu vi que o pessoal estava rindo muito da Arca em Talladega, daí eu comecei a assistir, mas só vi as primeiras 30 voltas e não tinha nada demais. Mais ou menos que foi hoje. O início da prova não deu muita coisa, mas agora, uau. Só tá demorando demais agora essas amarelas. Largou 15 para as 8. Então já completamos aí, vamos completar 3 horas de prova desde a largada. Contando a vermelha, né? A Montini falou que travou aqui. Não, isso aqui é só uma foto. A que eu estou mostrando agora é só uma foto, não é a imagem da corrida em si. Eles estão mostrando aqui só essa janela do
UFC 221 prelims and pre-fight airing right now on FS2 and FS Go. We'll join them as soon as we're done. Cleanup is coming to a conclusion. The blowers have been taking care of the speedy dry, and we'll have 1 lap to go in the season opener in the Arca Racing Series presented by Menards. Michael Self will restart in front. We had a chance to talk to quite a few. Who are we going to try next, Phil?
Let's talk to Tom Hessert. We talked to him at the very beginning of the show. Let's see what he's been up to. Hey, Tom Hessert, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy? Well, Tom, we talked to you about 3 or 4 hours ago before this race started, and you obviously had a good car. You've worked your way back up into contention. What do you think for the end of this thing?
Well, I don't know. It really went backwards early on. You know, it seemed to not really be a factor. I missed a couple of wrecks, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to shake out. They said the 20th got a little bit of damage, and the freight seems to be fairly quick. We got our teammate up there, the 15th. So, I don't know. We're just going to do our best. We got one lap here and try to get the victory lane.
Now, what's going through your mind, Tom, now knowing that you just have one more lap? And obviously, the last time we tried one more lap, it didn't work too well.
Well, it's really tough. You try to, so much of what the lap is, the outcome is generated from 1-2 on the restart. So just try to have a good restart. Before we start last time, I mean, in hindsight, it's probably with a good team that was out of those top 4 cars. But I don't know. Just try to get a run on somebody here and do the best we can.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Tom Hessert right now scored in 7th position, but we still think everyone might move up a spot. We were told earlier that Noah Gragson was to be penalized for laying off the last restart, so he's going to go to the back of the line. Right now he is 3rd in line. So if that holds, it would be Self, Mullins, Creed, Horton in the front 2 rows, and Gerhardt and Hessert, Ferrier and Tolman, Belmont and Herbst, the top 10. Natalie Decker would be in 11th in that scenario.
You see Sheldon Creed's car. That's Sheldon right there. You can see that his splitter has been up a little bit where he went down in the grass there, so that's going to hurt him a little aero-wise. But we saw Gus Dean doing a good job with no left front fender, so it may be minimal, but you can definitely see that that front splitter has been pushed up as he went down through the grass.
Austin, I'm wondering if there's a challenge of sitting for so long and then trying to get back up in the saddle with laser sharp mental focus that quickly and for one lap with everything depending on it. What's that challenge?
You have to do it, but there's too much time for a bunch of different scenarios to go through your head right now. I mean, if you're leading the race, you're picturing 10 different scenarios of what can happen even before you get out of turn 2. And, the chances are something different's going to happen than what you can even imagine. So you just have to be prepared for anything, really. Be flexible. I mean, know that you just got to hit your marks and hope that you have good help behind you. But the key, I think, especially with looking at who's in the top 5 right now, as long as Michael Self doesn't, give too much of a gap behind him on this restart, I think it's his race to lose. But I don't want to predict anything. We've seen before, anything can happen.
One good thing about the change of the schedule this year, remember last year the Clash was scheduled right after this race, so you would be hustling up trying to get to that. There's nothing behind us at the track, so that allows the officials to clean up the track as much as they can and give everyone a fair shot at this final restart. There's a look at Kirk Horton, who right now is shown in 5th, but we think he's going to move up to 4th position. Dylan, tell us more.
Well, and he's obviously another one of those names that we're not used to seeing up on the top of the leaderboard. But that shouldn't be quite as big of a surprise as you'd maybe think. Those cars, his car and the team car, driven by Dave Mader, were prepared by Jeff Spraker. Shelley Stewart is the crew chief on this car, but Jeff Spraker is the one who prepared it, along with the teammate Dave Mader's car. Those 2 cars were fastest in practice on Thursday. So while we don't normally see drivers like Kirk Horton or even Dave Mader up near the front, it shouldn't be a surprise. They've been fast all weekend, and a good opportunity here for a good run for the driver of that 37 car.
How about that? In his first Arca start, he has been entered before, but this is the first Arca race that he started, and here with a lap to go, the biggest race of the year in Daytona, he's in the top 5.
Looks like that car's pretty clean too.
Yes, it does. He might win the award as the only one that hasn't been involved in anything. All right, let's go down to the gym now.
Well, it was a petty blue 43 on the outside of a restart just a few minutes ago, but Sean Core, the driver's back here with what's left of your number 43 Chevrolet. That had to be a wild ride you took there.
Oh, that really was. My dad right now is in the hospital down in New Smyrna Beach and had a stomach operation, and I hope he was watching it, and I can imagine how crazy he was going watching us up front there, but I would have loved to bring him home a trophy today, but it just didn't happen. Our Empire Racing guys have been working on this car since really Talladega ended last year. We've been brainstorming on how to make the perfect composite speedway car, and I think we built it, and then I killed it.
Well, you've had the chance to develop young drivers, including Thad Moffitt, Richard Petty's grandson. That's the colors and the number 46 on your teammate John Ferrier's car. How exciting is that part of your Empire Racing driver development program?
That's very exciting. Thad is one of the nicest young gentlemen I could possibly ever meet. The kid comes into the shop every week, and if there's nothing to do, he's not above going and sweeping the floors in the shop and helping the guys build the speedway cars and anything else that he can do. He's the Petty family, the Moffitt family. They've been so good to us.
And Thad's been here all weekend with wrenches in hand, working with his team. He'll get his chance, hopefully, for a fourth ARCA start with Sean Corr and the Empire Racing team here in 2018 after 3 starts on the short tracks a year ago.
Yep, Thad Moffitt is just 17. Tough way to finish for Sean Corr, but they knew he was here tonight. He was a factor late at Daytona. Well, that's a good sign. The cars are rolling again. We'll come back to try our third white flag. One more to go from Daytona. Stay with us.
Vendo comentários dos grupos do WhatsApp aqui de NASCAR. Pessoal rindo dos acidentes. Já, será que agora vai relargar? Já saiu o grid do Clash. Austin Dillon e Denny Hamlin na primeira fila. Depois Logan e Eric Jones. Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex. Sétimo Casey Kane. Oitavo Stenhouse. Nono Harvick. Décimo Larson. 11º Newman. 12º Elliott. 13º, 14º os irmãos Kyle e Kurt Busch. 15º Blaney. 16º McMurray. 17º Keselowski. A Danica Patrick não vai largar? Achei que ela ia correr com aquela regra. Longa amarela essa aqui. Esse longo comercial. Na vermelha tá gigante.
If you're searching for the UFC 221 prelims, you can find them right now on FS2 and FS Go, and we'll join when we're done here coming up on FS1. So right now, FS Go, FS2 is where you find UFC 221, the pre-fight show. We are rolling again under yellow. We go back to green. There will be 1 lap remaining. We'll try it for the second time in the Arca Racing Series presented by Menards, but drama for the 28
Problemas. 28 vai ter que parar para reabastecer. Ah não, pneu furado.
One tire is down. I need to come to pit road. The right front deflated under that red flag.
Já reabastece.
Again, the team was worried about A, going through debris, and B, the tire wear on all these laps under this oil dry situation. Track doing the best they can, but the race leader at the time of our most recent caution, Sheldon Creed, in for 4 fresh General tires after the right front went down on this team. And their hopes of winning have been dashed as well.
A little bit of fuel, though. We were getting a little bit worried about whether they had enough fuel or not. We saw them dump some fuel in it, so he should be good to go now.
So Michael Self is the leader. Willie Mullins in second. Noah Gregson is still shown in third. We had heard that he was going to be penalized. We're still waiting to see him, and I guess the team is going to challenge that as much as they can.
And he's lined up 4th right now.
Tom Hessert has moved in front of him there. So maybe just giving a spot back, which is one of the penalties that can be allowed at times.
We're still being told by the Arca officials that the 54 of Noah Gregson is going to have to go to the back of the pack here. You see Natalie Decker now looks like she's going to line up in the 3rd spot with all the problems she's had, our pole sitter. There's Bobby Gerhardt, no right front fender on his Lucas Oil car. He will restart apparently in the 4th position once Noah moves out.
So maybe just look for the
5th position, excuse me.
The most pristine cars. We said Willie Mullins' car looks pretty good. Gregson's car still looks good, but he's going to have to deal with some track position if he serves this penalty. Hessert's car looks good.
Yeah, Kirk Horton's car looks good.
4 offenders was not a requirement tonight to run in the top 5. Even winning the race, we may see a car with 3 fenders in victory lane.
Well, Michael Self's car's beat up pretty good, just about all the way around it.
Yeah, he said hello to the wall and he had a little contact early on. But he's got a chance to win the biggest race of his life. He won his first ARCA race in the season finale last year. He's won multiple times in the K&N Series.
Agora que vai, formando essa dupla. É isso aí, apaga as luzes para esse cara. Vamos lá para ele largar.
Flag is being shown, so next time by, we will have 1 lap to determine the season opener in the ARCA Racing Series.
See the 54 of Noah Gregson move over now to let the field go by.
And look at Tom Hessert up there in 3rd position now. And he's got a lot of experience, a 6-time winner in ARCA, looking for his first win at Daytona. And there's Bobby Gerhardt, the 8-time winner here. That's going to be in play. And Natalie Decker, the young 20-year-old from Wisconsin who started on the pole, who's got a lot of damage in that car and has had many more near misses. She's still in play.
I think she would have liked to have been lined up with her teammate, Tom Hessert, but she's going to have to line up on the outside of Tom Hessert in the 4th position. Bobby Gerhardt there back in 5th.
I don't even want to predict what's about ready to happen.
Não quero nem tentar prever o que vai acontecer.
There's Gregson back there. The back of that little pack.
I think that's essentially all the lead lap cars that we have that don't have a tremendous amount of damage. Now I'm sure the ARCA officials are telling him he's got to drop all the way back, not just to the back of the lead lap cars. He has to drop back to the back of the field.
Tá, quer dizer que ela não tem que só ir para trás dos carros que estão na volta inteira, mas sim.
I think it's the same thing we were talking about before. Let's push Michael Self, make sure we get by the 346 car out of fuel.
Lento. Será que acabou a gasolina?
See if he can get sufficiently out of the way so we can go ahead and restart. That looks like that's the chicane over on the backstretch for the road course. Not sure he's going to be out of the way.
Deve ser outro problema.
Turn 4 right now.
Outro carro por dentro ali.
Car lights
Às vezes eles vão ali para dentro porque
car on the bottom. Mullins, red and white number 3
quando tem pouca
car on the
gasolina, a
top
gasolina
side.
vai toda para a direita e daí está andando devagar da banca na ondulação. Nossa, só estava reposicionando. Tanto faz agora a pescar para dentro. De olho aqui na frente, Self no 15, Mullins no 3. Relargando, vamos lá, de novo. Última volta. Se terminar em bandeira verde. Se não, vai relargar de novo. Self dispara na frente. Mas sozinho vai ter um efeito ioiô muito grande. Atenção para esse laranja que está vindo forte por fora. O carro por dentro ainda tem o vácuo do Self. E agora deixaram o Mullins no 3 laranja sozinho lá. 4 carros lado a lado lá atrás. Será que vai dar para chegar? O efeito ioiô não está funcionando. O pessoal está lado a lado. Self vai ganhar. Michael Self vence em Daytona. Parece que a distância dele pro segundo só aumentou.
Kevin Reed, winner again at Daytona. And Venturini Motorsports celebrates.
O grupo não se organizou, ficaram brigando entre si. E o Self disparou lá na frente. Mas o mais importante, finalmente acaba a corrida aqui da Arca.
What a comeback by Sheldon Creed to finish third.
Noah Grexit recovers to finish 7th. Jim, take it away.
Amanhã às 6 da tarde, a Cup Series aí sim vai correr. E a partir das 3 da tarde tem o Qualify. Só procurar NASCAR em Daytona, deve ter alguém passando. Eu acho que não vou passar muita coisa do Qualify. Mas devo estar de volta para o Budweiser Shootout, que agora é o Advanced Outport Splash. 6 da tarde.
Well, we went to Talladega. I showed up. We went to Talladega to test, and they built a car there. And we got there, and we were 2.5 seconds off. He come home, and he said, I don't care what you got to do to fix it. I want you to fix it. Jack Irving gave us wind tunnel time from Toyota. Everybody's been behind it. Bill and Kathy have been supporting us with everything we need, and we're going to do a lot of this year.
Now a 3-time Daytona Arca race winner as a crew chief, Kevin Reed.
Sem fôlego
so
ali.
Many good stories. Michael Self winning. How about Willie Mullins with his best finish in
Valeu
second.
todo mundo que assistiu
Creed
aqui,
recovers to finish third.
compartilhou,
Tom Hessert
o
fourth.
feedback também ajudando aí a melhorar a transmissão.
Now shown in 4th position. They're flirting with that, so we're going to have to wait for that for an official finish for the top 5. We know Michael Self won, and here is how he got it done with the restart.
What a great restart. Willie Mullins was not able to keep pace. Really, Michael Self just pulled away from Tom Hessert. Then Willie Mullins had a little help from behind, and that got him beside Tom Hessert, and that slowed their momentum, and that gave Michael Self enough of a cushion that he was able to drive all the way around by himself.
Too many cars with damage to make up that gap.
And even the second row didn't have any kind of a push there. Hessert and Mullins were on their own. Decker got back in to help just a little bit.
Yeah, she was trying to help her teammate right here, Tom Hessert. That's her in the white and red car. Willie Mullins did an outstanding job. You talked about him finishing in the top 10 last year. He stays right there with Tom Hessert. Has a little bit of help from Sheldon Creed to get by Tom Hessert. He's going to end up with a second place finish, and Sheldon Creed recovered from a late pit stop to come to home third.
What a story. Michael Self wins with his partner Sinclair Oil, Willie Mullins, Sheldon Creed, Tom Hessert, Natalie Decker, the top 5. Max Tolman recovers to finish 6th, and Jim is in victory lane.
And the hugs continue here. Venturini Motorsports won here in 2013 for the first time, and Billy Venturini here in the gray shirt oversees the day-to-day operations. Michael Self in disbelief here in victory lane with his Sinclair Toyota. He said, I want to win races, and I want to do it with Venturini. Last year, he won with MDM Motorsports and raced with Mason Mitchell Motorsports. He also won races in the NASCAR West Series, but this, no doubt, has to be one of the biggest victories for Utah's Michael Self as he climbs from the car in Gatorade victory lane at Daytona. What a way to start the season. Here he is, Michael Self, the winner at Daytona. It seemed like an eternity during that red flag, but look at that emotion. Michael, how did you do it? What? How'd you do it?
Survived, man. Just survived.
Como você fez? Sobrevivi, só sobrevivi.
Got lucky, made it through a couple wrecks.
Tive sorte, passei por alguns acidentes.
This number 15 Sinclair Oil Toyota to just overcame a lot. This thing is rough. This thing's been beat up.
Esse carro aqui é forte.
Kevin, Billy, these guys, Mike Herman Jr., just guided me, man. They just told me every single thing that I needed to do. I mean, they drove this car from the outside. I made mistakes.
Deu as dicas.
They helped me overcome them.
Dirigiram o carro por mim por fora.
Thanks to everyone. Big Bill Venturini.
Obrigado a todo mundo.
We got to say thank you, Michael. Here comes the kiss from Papa Bill. Congratulations, Michael Self, a winner here at Daytona to start the season.
What a story, a great show tonight. Michael Self wins. Thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to a great 2018. For Austin Terrio, Phil Parsons, Dylan Welch, and Jim Trado, I'm Kevin Lee. Coming up next,
então tá, vamos encerrar essa transmissão. Amanhã, então, certo, às 18 horas. A partir das 15 talvez eu esteja online. Se não for eu sei que tem outros lugares aí que vai ter o Qualified Daytona das 500 milhas. E um monte de talk show que o pessoal tá fazendo também, a Fox e coisa. Vale a pena, acho que desde o meio-dia já tentar procurar por transição da Daytona. Ali é aquele que eu botei original. Esse canal aí, assinem lá que vai ter programa sempre. Bem legal para fazer um aquece. Isso aí, valeu. Até a próxima. Tchau. Jean Kepler aqui falando. Até a próxima.